Chapter 188. The furnace blazed fiercely as it imprisoned Shui Guan's primordial spirit within and began to refine it. However, Su Yan had underestimated Shui Guan's primordial spirit. Although this part of the primordial spirit's power wasn't strong at all, it contained the Tao energy left behind by Shui Guan. After all, Shui Guan's cultivation was profound and had already touched upon the great Tao. He was about to comprehend the power of the great Tao and step into the ranks of the universe's experts. When that time came, he would be a mighty lord with world-shaking battle prowess. This was the demeanor of a young supreme being. Shui Guan's primordial spirit suddenly became terrifying. It was as if it had transformed into a great Tao vortex, emitting a powerful aura. Although it was only a part of his primordial spirit, Shui Guan was still high and mighty as he overlooked all living things. He was like an emperor, indescribably noble. Open! The moment his primordial spirit shouted, his Tao energy recovered and instantly smashed the furnace into pieces. Shui Guan's might was shocking. He was still sitting cross-legged in the void, his divine might awe-inspiring as he overlooked the territory like a giant. Boom! At this moment, the aura of the great Tao pervaded the area within 1,000 miles. This wasn't real power, but a kind of Tao energy. Although this kind of Tao energy was still somewhat indistinct, it had already manifested a little. For a moment, it had the power to burn mountains and boil seas. There's the aura of a great figure. Just now, the battle between Su Yan and Shui Ming had alarmed the nearby crowd. Now, the commotion was even more shocking. The Tao energy majestically swept through the mountain forest, causing everyone to tremble in fear and suffocate. One could imagine how shocking the Tao energy was. Once it was grasped, no matter how strong one's cultivation was, they would be suppressed by it. Heavens, it's the great Northern Dipper Supreme. Everyone within 1,000 miles was shocked by Shui Guan's aura. These people looked over and saw a huge figure appear in the distance. He sat cross-legged between heaven and earth, looking down on the heavens and the great Northern Dipper. He had the majesty of a ruler of the world. Isn't this too savage? Where does he put the great Northern Dipper Supreme? What happened next left them flabbergasted. They saw a shadow awaken. His divine might was admittedly much weaker than Supreme Shui Guan's, but Su Yan's actions made him feel scared. He erupted once again. In terms of his grasp of regulations, Su Yan had already reached the pinnacle. The heavens and earth rumbled, and as the power of rules rose and fell, it slowly condensed into a huge furnace. The oven devours the heavens suddenly exploded with power, and then it came down with a rumble, directly swallowing Shui Guan. The onlookers were scared silly. Who was so domineering as to actually swallow Shui Guan into the furnace and even refine him? This person is too ferocious. He trapped Shui Guan's divine consciousness in the furnace and refined it. Who could be so ferocious? When did such a ferocious man appear in the Big Dipper constellation? Their hearts trembled, and they didn't dare to go over and watch. However, they saw the furnace, which was formed by the convergence of the laws of heaven and earth, light up and rumble as it forcibly refined this portion of the power of Shui Guan's primordial spirit. You will die miserably, very miserably. Shui Ming roared unwillingly. Who dared to humiliate the great Northern Dipper Supreme? Who dared to refine his primordial spirit into a pile of ashes? Now they really wanted to see Su Yan's end, but his primordial spirit was also destroyed. The power of the oven devours caused Shui Guan's divine consciousness to distort. His eyes emitted a cold light as he stared at Su Yan. He was still high and mighty. Shui Guan, you snob. Sooner or later, I, Su Yan, will trample you under my feet. Su Yan's eyes emitted killing intent. If it wasn't for the killing array and the star pagoda, he knew very well that he would have become a corpse by now. Just because of Shui Guan's greed, he had almost died. How furious was Su Yan in his heart? Buzz! The furnace was resplendent as it refined Shui Guan's divine consciousness completely. After doing all this, Su Yen directly took out the space-breaking array. After opening it, he crossed the territory and fled far away from this area. The territory was quiet. The onlookers were still immersed in the shock of what had just happened. Shui Guan's divine consciousness had been refined alive. This was a humiliation to the great Northern Dipper Supreme. If news of this spread out, it would cause a big commotion in the Big Dipper constellation. Boom! In less than half an incense's time, waves of stifling fluctuations came from the direction of Brilliant City. From afar, one could see the Chaos War chariot crossing over. It wasn't just Shui Guan. Some of the geniuses in Brilliant City had also rushed over. Shui Guan's furious appearance surprised the Little Dragon King and the others, and they also followed behind. The Chaos War chariot had a grand aura as it revolved around the Chaos light beam. Shui Guan sat cross-legged in the chaos like the divine king of the Big Dipper. His eyes looked down at the world with shocking might. His eyes were staring at a broken corpse expressionlessly. Shui Guan was a little surprised. A small cultivator had killed Shui Ming instead. Interesting. Shui Guan sneered in his heart. When he first saw Su Yen, Shui Guan could faintly see that Su Yan's foundation was extremely strong. He had even opened the sacred gate. However, he really didn't expect that Su Yen had the foundation to kill a Transcendence Realm cultivator. Good fellow, so it was Shui Ming who was killed. Yao Guang and the others were astonished. This person could be considered as Shui Guan's elder. Now, he had actually died tragically here. After all, Shui Guan was now at the peak of his power. Who would dare to make a move on the Shui family? Such an interesting thing actually happened. It seems like Shui Guan still doesn't know that a part of his divine sense has been cut off. His memory has also been erased. The Little Dragon King and the others were very interested. When they asked the nearby people what happened, their expressions were very interesting as they began to discuss. Shui Guan, oh Shui Guan, this is really embarrassing. His divine sense has been imprisoned and refined. The Little Dragon King was watching the show. He was very happy that a member of the Shui family had died. In addition, he had tricked Shui Long at the last auction. Although he didn't get many heavenly essence stones, he was in a very good mood these days. However, the Little Dragon King's expression was somewhat serious. He felt that Shui Guan's cultivation was astonishing. There were rumors that Shui Guan had obtained the inheritance of a supreme expert. He didn't know if this was true or not. Just as the experts of the Shui family arrived, the surrounding thousands of miles were emitting a bitter killing intent. The Shui family master was furious on the spot. No matter who it is, find out. I will turn his bones to dust. The Shui family master was extremely angry. Although Shui Ming wasn't considered a big shot, he was still an important member of the Shui family. The wilderness near Brilliant City was very chaotic. A large number of cultivators from the Shui family had arrived to search for the murderer. Big news! The Northern Dipper Sovereign's divine sense has been refined by a ruthless person. In less than half a day, Brilliant City was in an uproar. At that time, many people had seen this matter. Now that the news was spread, it caused great wave. The Northern Dipper Sovereign was like the sun in the sky in the Northern Dipper starfield. But he was humiliated, and his divine sense was even imprisoned in a furnace and turned into ashes. This matter was too big. It concerned the dignity of the Shui Guan. How could the Shui family not be angry? Who has the guts to do this? Although it's only a part of his divine sense, the dignity of the Northern Dipper Sovereign is not to be challenged. Shui Ming has also fallen. It must be the same person who did it. I don't know who is so bold to kill Shui Ming and humiliate the Northern Dipper Sovereign. What a ruthless person. He must be a heaven's pride. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to kill Shui Ming. Brilliant City was in an uproar. When the Shui family master returned, His nose was almost crooked from anger. Who was the one who spread this news? Now, the whole city was in an uproar. Some people were laughing at the Shueguan. How dare you humiliate my brother? Shuelong roared in exasperation. I don't care who you are. When we find out, we'll exterminate your entire family. If you kneel in front of Brilliant City and beg for forgiveness, we'll still forgive you. The Shui family was furious. A large group of Shui family experts came to Brilliant City. The older generation had all come out. In a short time, Brilliant City was surging like a storm. All the major powers were suspicious. The Shui family's reaction was too intense. After all, it was only a strand of divine sense that had been refined. There was no need to make such a big fuss. This little bastard better not fall into my hands. Otherwise, I'll skin you alive. I can't deal with Shueguan, but you think I can't deal with you? Su Yan also quietly mixed in with the crowd. Soon, he arrived near Brilliant City just in time to hear Shuelong's words. Su Yan's eyes were suffused with a cold light. Shueguan is too vicious. He wants to kill me just to steal my scripture. Now that he's entrenched in Brilliant City, he must want to capture me. At this time, Su Yan observed the terrain and became one with the earth vein energy. He sensed the aura of Brilliant City. He faintly sensed a familiar aura in Brilliant City. However, this aura was extremely tyrannical. It was definitely Shueguan. No, I can't go back. Shueguan has seen me before and knows my aura. With his divine abilities, he might discover me as soon as I arrive in Brilliant City. Su Yan didn't dare to rashly enter the city. With his mastery of the 9 transformations, experts could easily see through him. No, I can't just sit here and wait for death. With the Shui family's strength, they're definitely much more terrifying than Gopeng. Su Yan hesitated for a moment. Then, he called out an ordinary cultivator from the crowd and said that he could give him 1,000 origin essence stones for a gift. Su Yan faintly displayed his battle prowess. This cultivator hurriedly nodded in agreement. 1,000 origin essence stones was already quite a lot. He took the gift from Su Yan and rushed to Baocai's shop. Uncle Baocai, Su Yan sent some things. They're probably for you. There's also a letter. On the second floor of Baocai's shop, Tai Baocai's eyes were red. He was calculating the origin essence stones he had obtained. His expression was unfriendly, as if someone had stepped on his tail. The little old man ran up with a bruised face. It seemed that he had been taught a lesson by Tai Baocai. Tai Baocai stared at him with a fierce expression. The little old man trembled in fear and hurriedly said, Uncle Baocai, the origin essence stones were really taken away by Su Yan. Look, he even sent some things over. Where did that brat run off to? How did he take so many origin essence stones from this beast god? Did he stir up some trouble? When I see him, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. Tai Baocai's face darkened. He took out the letter that Su Yan had sent and read it. Tai Baocai shook its fur. Its eyes were red and bloodshot, as if someone had stolen its wife. The fur on its body began to stand on end. Tai Baocai's condition was not right. It was like a giant hedgehog. This scene made the little old man's hair stand on end. He shuddered and said in a trembling voice, Uncle Baocai, I still have matters to attend to in the shop. I'll leave first. The little old man hurriedly went downstairs. Then, the little old man heard Tai Baocai let out a series of wild laughter. The little old man had goosebumps all over his body. Tai Baocai seemed to have gone crazy. Its laughter was too horrifying. The inheritance of an almighty. Tai Baocai was so excited that its entire body trembled. It almost spat out white foam. Its eyes were red and its entire body was trembling. The inheritance of an almighty. Tai Baocai's eyes were as big as copper bells. It opened its eyes wide and read the letter that Su Yan had sent inside and out many times. It roared in its heart, the inheritance of an almighty. Shueguan has the Chaos Chariot. He must have obtained the inheritance of an almighty. Damn, he can casually give out medicine kings. He's so rich that people are flowing with medicine kings. Zhu Yan is nothing. This Shueguan is definitely a landlord. If I can dig out Shueguan's lair, wouldn't I be rich? Tai Baokai grinned. No, Shueguan can't have obtained everything from an almighty. He hasn't comprehended the great Tao. If he can find the inheritance of an almighty, he will definitely obtain a heaven-defying fortune. If Shueguan comprehended the great Tao, he should be able to obtain all the inheritance of an almighty. No, this beast god can't just sit there and do nothing. Tai Baokai was so excited that it bared its teeth. It rushed all the way, causing the entire street to be in chaos. There were shouts and curses everywhere. Tai Baokai was so excited that it jumped up. It raised its head and perked up its two big ears. It threw Su Yan's primordial spirit projection out to the most popular street. This street was filled with golden light. A huge light screen appeared here. Xueming's figure appeared and was talking arrogantly. My race's champion obtained the inheritance of an almighty and bid for the primordial elixir. What's a drop of primordial elixir? You can give away any medicine king as you wish. Tai Baokai opened its mouth and howled. Its voice spread throughout the entire brilliant city. Chapter 189. Tai Baocai's voice was so loud that it reverberated throughout the entire Alcade city. It didn't matter if it was Shueguan, the inheritance of a mighty figure, or even the king of medicine. These words were truly captivating, causing many people to be shocked. All of them were searching for the source of the voice. When they saw the destination, the entire Alcade city quietened down. This was especially so for the most crowded street. Everyone was shocked by Xueming's voice. They were all frightened. First of all, Xueming was already a dead man. Now, this matter had caused an uproar. But now, Xueming's primordial spirit projection had left them dumbstruck. A king of medicine was given away casually? Even the origin treasured liquid had been taken by the Xue family. Also, a mighty figure's inheritance? Unbelievable! They were all dumbfounded. This was a scene that left them flabbergasted. The scene was also very clear. Then, they saw Shueguan take out a jade box. After opening it, a king of medicine appeared. They also saw Shueguan giving the Dao weapon to Meng Qiaoli. The only thing missing was the scene of Yi Yun and Meng Ying. Heavens! Everyone's eyes turned red as their bodies trembled. A king of medicine was given away casually, and a Dao weapon was given to a woman. This was too rich. Even the Alcade Hall master's face trembled violently when he saw this scene. This was a king of medicine. How could it be ordinary? Every stock could prolong one's life and was of great help to the older generation of cultivators. However, Shueguan casually took out a king of medicine and gave it to someone. It's really a king of medicine. Could Shueguan have really obtained a mighty figure's inheritance? Alcade City was in an uproar as discussions filled the sky. Tai Baocai's howls had made them jealous. Shueguan had obtained a mighty figure's inheritance? After all, this was said by Xueming. Coupled with the rumors in the cultivation world, it seemed like Shueguan had really obtained a mighty figure's inheritance. Bullshit. The Xue family master's eyes were about to split open as he almost coughed out a mouthful of blood. He was flustered and exasperated as he stretched out his hand from afar and covered the entire street. He directly smashed the primordial spirit projection thrown out by Tai Baokai. He was about to explode from anger. After all, Shueguan was still young and had yet to enter the ranks of experts. Once he was targeted by some old freaks, they would definitely cripple him. A mighty figure's inheritance, a mighty figure's inheritance, king of medicine. The entire brilliant city was filled with a strange atmosphere. The older generation sucked in a breath of cold air because the amount of information in these primordial spirit projections was too great. Moreover, there was an 80% to 90% chance that it was real. My Xue clan's enemy, Why aren't you showing yourself? You're using such a despicable method to slander my clan's champion. Family head Shue soared into the sky with a ferocious look on his face. He said angrily, "My son, Guanjuan, is in Brilliant City waiting for you to kill him. Let's see how many lives you can let my Shue family take." Shue Guan and the others were all agitated. They all stared at Shue Guan. Primordial spirit projection. In reality, it was the projection of a cultivator's primordial spirit. This projection could be faked, but it required an expert who had comprehended the great Tao. But would such an expert make a joke out of this? Moreover, they had long suspected that the primordial elixir had been taken by the Shue family. They thought back to the Shue family's sudden arrival of so many great experts. Could it be that they were here to escort the primordial elixir back? Honglong. Strands of terrifying aura surged over, causing Shue Guan to become ice-cold. This was the awakening of one mighty lord after another. They were hibernating in the void, quietly surging with heaven overflowing aura. The entire Shue Guan city was on the verge of collapsing. This was killing intent. It was being released in Shue Guan city without any concealment. Some people couldn't resist the temptation to take action. Shue Guan was here. Once they killed him, they could obtain the King of Medicine, the Chaos War Chariot, and the Primordial Elixir. Shue Guan City was surging with winds and clouds. Some people boldly speculated that there would definitely be mighty lords of the older generation coming out to deal with Shue Guan. Su Yan had already left a long time ago. He was preparing to refine the heavenly essence stone on him before returning to take a look. Honglong. What made Su Yan overjoyed was that not long after he left, endless divine light gushed out from Shue Guan City. It pierced through the heavens as if 100,000 volcanoes were erupting. It was terrifying and world-shocking. The divine light even covered the stars in outer space. Someone is making a move. It was a shocking scene. The heavens were submerged in divine splendor as the power of the great Tao surged out. It turned into a resplendent and dazzling golden-winged great Pung. It spread its wings and tore through the void. It was like a golden sea as it rushed towards Shue Guan's official residence. Kacha! The entire official residence was split into pieces. The golden-winged great Peng's pervasive airflow crushed it, making the Shue family's cultivators feel as if they were struck by lightning. This divine bird could be said to be carved out of gold. It shone brightly and emitted a killing intent that could tear apart the heavens and split the seas. The people of Shue Guan City felt their scalps go numb. Someone actually made a move to kill Shue Guan. Honglong. Suddenly, the golden Overlord revived. A huge dragon shadow soared behind him and pierced through outer space. It's the Golden Dragon King. What is he doing? Everyone felt that it was inconceivable. The Golden Dragon King was domineering at this moment. He held a Fangtian halberd and slashed horizontally. Bloody light surged and split open the heavens. He killed the golden-winged Great Pung on the spot. Golden Dragon King. The Shue family's head was delighted. He didn't expect the Golden Dragon King to make a move. Little Dragon King, why did Lord Golden Dragon King make a move? The Little Dragon King's subordinates were anxious and very puzzled. Hearing this, the Little Dragon King sneered. You're thinking too simply. Kill Shue Guan? How can it be so easy? The Shue family's experts have always been secretly protecting Shue Guan. They're definitely at the level of an ancestor. What happened just now was just a test. Who knows, maybe it was my father who did it. Ha ha ha, nephew Shue, are you alright? The Golden Dragon King was wearing a golden robe. He was a demon overlord. At this moment, he was walking like a dragon or a tiger. He wore a purple gold crown on his head, and he looked mighty and domineering. He held a Fangtian halberd in one hand and stood on top of the sunken official residence. He looked at the calm Shue Guan. Thank you, Golden Dragon King, for your help. Shue Guan bowed. This kind of scoundrel can't hurt me. It's good that you're fine. The Golden Dragon King walked over and sighed. I, the Golden Dragon King, have dominated the Big Dipper star region for thousands of years. My lifespan is running out. Nephew Shwe, I see that you have a lot of king herbs. Can you sell one to me? This Golden Dragon King really knows how to find an opportunity to ask. Everyone was dumbfounded. So this was what the Golden Dragon King wanted. He wanted to buy king herbs. The smile on the Shwe family head's face disappeared. He walked over and squeezed out a smile. Golden Dragon King, don't listen to slander. My son, Guanjuan, is the supreme ruler of the Big Dipper star region. He has many enemies. You can't believe what you just heard. Are you afraid that I'll cheat you? I, the Golden Dragon King, would never cheat you, Nephew Shwe. Am I right, Nephew Shwe? The Golden Dragon King was unhappy. After all, it was a king herb. If he could get it, the Golden Dragon King would be able to stand at the peak of the Golden Era and protect the Golden Dragon King bloodline for thousands of years. Tai Baokai and the Little Dragon King had their arms around each other's shoulders. They boarded the Starry Sky formation and rushed to the various ancient planets of the Big Dipper star region. In just a day, the news had spread throughout the entire Big Dipper star region. Shwe Guan has a large number of king herbs. He has obtained the inheritance of a supreme being. The Big Dipper star region was in an uproar. Some of the elders in the Big Dipper star palace could no longer sit still. The king herbs were too precious. Some of the elders in the Big Dipper star region couldn't hold on any longer and needed king herbs to prolong their lives. Although they had holy herbs contained the power of the Great Tao. Holy herbs were extremely important to a clan, but they were used to comprehend the Great Tao. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't use holy herbs to prolong their lives. Day after day, Brilliant City was bustling with activity. Important figures from all over the world came one after another. Damn it! Who spread the news? The Shwe family head's face was ashen. The news of the inheritance of a supreme being had spread throughout the Big Dipper star region. Some of the powers that were on good terms with the Shwe family came to buy king herbs. The Shwe family was worried that these powers would join forces and target the Shwe family. Oh my God! Are these old bastards crazy? Little Dragon King was in disbelief. He didn't expect so many people to come. He could faintly sense that under the night sky, there were at least a dozen masters hiding in the dark. They were emitting monstrous killing intent without any concealment. That's a king herb, Tai Baokai said disdainfully. Do you know what a king herb is? Your father's lifespan can't last more than 1,000 years, right? Think about it, these old monsters who are nearing the end of their lifespan. What wouldn't they do in order to live a few more years? If they die, they'll have nothing. If they take a gamble, they might be able to fight for another lifetime. Little Dragon King couldn't help but nod. Generally speaking, existences like Brilliance Palace Master had a lifespan of 5,000 to 6,000 years at most. King herbs could prolong their lifespan by 1,000 years. The majestic life essence within could allow the Golden Dragon King to stand at the peak of his life. The stronger the cultivation, the less time a king herb could prolong their lifespan. However, even a few dozen years was enough for some old monsters who were about to die to fight for their lives. On this day, it was as if a cosmic ocean was floating in the sky above Brilliant City. A beast king with a terrifying aura had arrived. Just by a little bit of its aura, it could be said that it was a prehistoric dragon. A magnificent scene of the sun, moon, and stars was engraved in the sky. An ancestor from the giant starry sky beast lineage came to beg the king herb. His lifespan is not long. What a terrifying aura! Brilliance Palace Master and the rest are all referring to themselves as juniors. What's the meaning of this? Even a group of elders from the Big Dipper Palace Master came to beg the king herb. Will Shwe Guan sell it? The Shwe family even brought their clan's most precious treasure. The primal chaos treasure is operating day by day to prevent people from targeting Shwe Guan. In just 3 to 5 days, the number of masters gathered on Brilliance Planet had almost doubled. The atmosphere in the city was very oppressive. The shadows of masters were coming and going at night. Some of their eyes were like red lanterns as they stared at the place where Shueguan was in seclusion. The Shui family was very anxious. In the end, the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master rushed over with the Big Dipper Palace Master's primal chaos treasure. After all, he was the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master. For a moment, he was able to suppress some of the storms in Brilliant City. Some of the old fellows who wanted to join forces in the dark were also apprehensive. They didn't expect that the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master would protect Shueguan. This old fart, the Big Dipper Star region belongs to your Big Dipper Palace Master. Even a disciple of an ancient aristocratic family could become the Big Dipper Palace Master. Your ancestors' old faces have all been thrown away by you. Now, you are still shamelessly coming to protect Shueguan. The Tai Baokai was so angry that it almost vomited blood. It had a premonition that a huge storm was about to erupt and kill Shueguan. Even if it couldn't kill Shueguan, it would be enough to figure out the origins of Shueguan's inheritance. However, the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master's cultivation was profound. He sat here with a Chaos Supreme treasure and suppressed some people. The little Dragon King was also secretly resentful. Shueguan almost couldn't protect himself. Now that the Grand Elder of the Big Dipper Palace Master was here, 2 Chaos Supreme treasures were hanging side by side in Brilliant City. Who would dare to use force? Invite Han Tong here for me. Shueguan's eyes were cold. He was trapped and wouldn't be able to leave Brilliant City in a short period of time. He really didn't expect that a small cultivator in his eyes, Su Yan, who he couldn't even be bothered to kill, would actually push him into a dangerous situation. Now, Shueguan was like a moving treasure house. Everyone wanted to take away a king medicine. When he took out the king medicine and gave it to Yun, he wanted to be on good terms with the Crepe Myrtle sect. He knew very well what it meant for Yun to go to the Crepe Myrtle sect. She would definitely be the next saintess of the Crepe Myrtle sect. Maybe in the future, when he walked the supreme path of conquering the star field, the saintess of the Crepe Myrtle sect would be by his side. Not good, Master Baokai. Everyone outside is saying that Su Yan has been captured alive. The little old man hurriedly ran to the second floor. Tai Baokai was happily gnawing on bamboo. When it heard this, it was stunned. It got up and madly rushed outside. Not good. The Big Dipper Palace has the inheritance of the divine mathematician. Tai Baokai slipped out. The city was in an uproar. It was slightly relieved. They hadn't caught Su Yan yet. They only confirmed his tracks. Big news. The real culprit behind Xueming's death has been found. He's near Marsh City. What? The real culprit behind the scenes has actually arrived. Who did it? It's not clear yet. It's said that Go Peng's son, Go Jingming, was also killed by him. How did they know? The little Dragon King was astonished. It was Han Tong who deduced this person's tracks. Now that the Alcade Palace Hall has sent people to arrest him, we'll know the truth soon. These words made the little Dragon King's expression change. Han Tong was good at deduction. He didn't expect that he would be able to obtain the true inheritance. Will Supreme Shueguan also kill his way over? It shouldn't be. There are so many experts of the older generation in Alcade City who are begging to buy king herbs. It's very difficult for Shueguan to leave Alcade City. Maybe someone will make a move on him halfway. After all, Alcade City has the foundation of the Big Dipper Palace Hall. If they force Shueguan to make a deal with the Big Dipper Palace Hall, even with the foundation of the Alcade Palace Hall, it's enough to protect him. Shueguan sat cross-legged in the Chaos Chariot. His figure was blurry, but he couldn't help but emit the charm of the Great Tao. His eyes were cold. He didn't care about a small cultivator at all. He quietly waited for Su Yan to be captured and brought here. He really wanted to know how Su Yen opened the sacred gate. On this day, Marsh City wasn't peaceful. A large group of Alcade Palace Hall's cultivators crossed over and rushed towards the forest outside. For a moment, the city was filled with rumors and slanders. Something isn't right. Su Yen was meditating as though nothing had happened. The essence qi in his body was surging. The medicinal efficacy of the Heaven's Essence Stone was very shocking. Su Yen had refined more than 1.5 kilograms of Heaven's Essence Stone and was about to touch the 6th heaven of Dao Sect realm. Something isn't right. Su Yen opened his eyes. In the haze, he realized that he was exposed to the world. He couldn't be wrong. He was about to cultivate to the 3rd grade of the mystical sect realm. He had a sharp intuition towards the changes in the world. It was obvious that there was an indescribable aura staring at him just now. This is bad. How did they know I'm here? Su Yen crawled up and triggered the qi of the earth veins. His expression changed instantly. Many people rushed over from all directions and were closing in on him. Chapter 190. The cultivators from Marsh City who had rushed over to watch were all shocked. A large number of Alcade Hall disciples were transported over from the void array. Cold light shone on their iron robes, and their bodies rippled with killing intent. Why are there so many people from Alcade Hall? This scene astonished the cultivators of Marsh City. Marsh City wasn't a bustling city, and Alcade Hall disciples rarely came here. After a while, another group of people was transported over from the void array. The leader was a great expert from the Shui family. His expression was cold, and his eyes were filled with rage. After all, because of Su Yen, the Shui family situation was very bad. The temptation of the Medicine King was too great. Although the Shui family had managed to get the help of the Big Dipper Palace's Grand Elder, Shuiguan had to pay a price and agree to sell a stalk of King Herb to the Big Dipper Palace's Grand Elder. That was the Medicine King. It was a rare treasure that Shuiguan couldn't sell. Now, he had no choice but to take it out to protect him. Now, the entire Shui family was filled with resentment. In addition to Shui Ming's death, the Shui family couldn't wait to eat Su Yen. Now, they had found him, but the Shui family's experts couldn't come. They were all in Alcade City protecting Shuiguan. Tianlong, be careful. There are people outside who want to deal with our clan's champion. Nothing must happen to you. Otherwise, the champion will be in a passive position. The Shui family's elder reminded him worriedly. This made the young Shuilong angrily say, "Elder, are you being too careful? Who is my elder brother? He's the Big Dipper Hall. He obtained the inheritance of a mighty figure and has a shocking foundation. So what if these old things covet him? Once my elder brother reveals his trump card, it's enough to kill a large number of them. Also, I have a protective artifact that my elder brother gave me. Don't worry." Shuilong didn't mind at all. He sneered and said, "And this person? He dared to target my elder brother and even killed Uncle Shuiming. I must make him kneel in Alcade City." The Shui family's elder heaved a sigh of relief. He was really worried about an accident. Since Shuilong had a protective artifact, he was relieved. He also wanted to see who the mastermind was. Boom! The people of the wilderness roared and howled. Alcade Palace's army rushed out, waving their flags and shouting their battle cries. The mountain forest was in chaos. Vicious beasts were hibernating, not daring to come out. They were all fighting, and it felt like something big was going to happen here. After all, Go Peng was the vice hall master. In addition, because of the matter with Shuiguan, Hall Master Yao Guang had personally given the order to dispatch the 10 great legacy disciples and Go Peng to surround and capture Su Yen. Isn't this a little too grand? 10 great legacy disciples and Vice Palace Master Go Peng. Who are they trying to capture? Who on Alcade Planet would dare to make an enemy out of Alcade Palace Hall? I don't know. Right now, Brilliant City is already chaotic enough. Look, even Sky Dragon from the Shui family is here. Could it be related to the Big Dipper sovereign? The spectators discussed animatedly. There were many people who had come. The auras of the 10 great legacy disciples were majestic and contained the aura of divine abilities. In Alcade Hall, only cultivators at the divine ability realm were qualified to become legacy disciples. The 10 great legacy disciples were already an impressive lineup. In addition, there were also many core disciples. The battle formation was very grand. Some people were waving flags and shouting, and the sound of killing surged and shook all directions. They rode on all kinds of vicious beasts and trampled through the mud. Everywhere they passed, the mountains shook as they charged towards their destination. Kacha. The cave that Su Yen was in had already collapsed. Unable to withstand the murderous aura coming from all directions, an inheritance disciple took out a killing weapon and illuminated the vacuum. He said coldly, "Remember, capture this person alive. Do not kill him." Divine light flourished between the heaven and earth. Over 100 Alcade Hall disciples uniformly surrounded them, leaving the entire cave completely impenetrable. Within the cave, Su Yen noticed that it was only Gopeng, a law phase realm cultivator. He let out a breath of relief and secretly took out a killing weapon. In his heart, he was furious. What a dogskin plaster. If I don't teach you all a lesson, you'll think that I, Su Yen, am easy to bully. Su Yen was also very puzzled. How did they find you all? Could it be that there was still a divine diviner in this world who could deduce his whereabouts? I have to leave this place as soon as possible. Gopeng couldn't find me at first, so it must be Shueguan's doing. Once the important figures of the Shui family come here, there's no way I can escape. Su Yen thought to himself. He quickly thought. He didn't know if the killing weapon could kill Gopeng. After all, he had already used it once. The divine power contained within the killing weapon was not small. Ah! Gopeng had already rushed over. He was laughing loudly. He was high above and looked down at the cave. Through the cracks, he could see the person in the cave. There was no doubt that it was Su Yen. "Brat, I have to say that you're extremely daring. You even dared to kill someone from the Shui family. You even dared to provoke Supreme Shueguan. You've got guts," Gopeng said coldly. "Get out here immediately and kneel here. If you resist, I'll cut you into 1,000 pieces and make you suffer all kinds of pain. Gopeng, I was kind enough to help you clean up your family and deal with the black sheep. Instead of thanking me, you came to deal with me." Su Yan's eyes were filled with coldness. He walked out of the cave. His loud voice frightened the surrounding people. What surprised them was that he was actually a young man around 20 years old. He had shoulder-length black hair and a tall and straight figure. The surrounding people were stunned. Who would have thought that the person behind the scenes who had caused planet Alcade to fly like a dog was actually a young man? Hearing this, Gopeng's face turned ashen. He almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He laughed angrily. "You sharp-tongued little evil creature. Now that you've fallen into my hands, you still dare to be disrespectful to me. If I don't break your legs, where will the dignity of my Alcade Palace Hall be?" The disciples of the 10 great inheritances approached on their ferocious beast. One of them coldly said, "Nameless pawn, tell me your name." "I never kill nameless people." "All of you listen up. This great master will never change his name. Your great master Su Yen is here." Su Yan's voice rolled over and resounded in all directions. The surrounding people were all stunned. With such an arrogant appearance, was he not afraid of dying without a burial ground? Su Yen, this name sounds familiar. I remember now. The little dragon king invited him to join his faction, but he was rejected by Su Yen. I didn't expect him to die here. What a pity. So it's him. I think this Su Yen has some confidence. Maybe he can escape. How is that possible? Even the Vice Palace Master Gopeng is here. He is a veteran powerhouse who has touched upon the great Tao. Maybe one day he will become a big shot. Some of the monster race cultivators were also here. They were all speechless. They didn't receive any news at all, and Go Pung and the others had already arrived. With the Vice Palace Master of Alcade Palace Hall overseeing this place, even if the little Dragon King came, it would be very difficult to bring Su Yen out safely. Impudent! The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritances were furious. The ferocious beasts they were riding were all roaring. They madly rushed over and leaped up. Ominous glints shot out in all directions. "I'll kill you!" The inheritance's disciple was shocked and angry at the same time. He held a war spear in his hand. The moment he erupted, dazzling rays of light that contained the power of divine abilities shot out like lightning. It cut open the vast sky and drew a big crack. So strong. The onlookers were shocked. The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciples were all great experts of the divine ability secret realm. Their battle strength was tyrannical. At the moment he rushed over, the divine ability secret door in his body suddenly opened. A majestic divine ability aura gushed out. For a moment, his power skyrocketed, illuminating the night sky. It was dazzling and dazzling. The night sky was bright, and the divine light of the stars surged. The divine spear's aura was overbearing. It struck out, and for a moment, the Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple was extraordinary. Transcendence godly armor. The next moment, the surrounding people were stunned. They saw Su Yen wearing a purple armor. The moment he recovered, his entire body burst out with a monstrous purple divine light that illuminated the night sky. This was the Transcendence godly armor, which was extremely precious. After all, the forging of a godly armor required a lot of materials. Usually, the forging of a godly armor required 3 Transcendence godly weapons. This Transcendence godly armor was given to him by Meng Ying. Its defensive power was extremely strong and could withstand the power of a Transcendence realm expert. Clang! This war spear struck Su Yan's body. Clang! Clang! Sparks flew. Its defensive power was too shocking. What? The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple was not shocked but delighted. This kind of Transcendence godly armor could only be used for defense. Although it could not be used for battle, if he obtained this kind of godly armor, it would be extremely difficult for cultivators of the same realm to shake him. It's just a tortoise shell. Come over here, ha ha ha. The Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple laughed loudly. He stretched out his palm and grabbed Su Yan's head. At this moment, Su Yan's hidden aura suddenly rose from the ground. Rolling golden light soared into the sky. Su Yan's physical body and sacred gate merged into one. His life cauldron awakened and erupted with unparalleled super-strong battle strength. Kill! He roared angrily. His palm formed a fist seal. The moment it soared up, a true dragon phantom faintly appeared behind him. This punch was powerful and domineering, containing a shocking offensive power. In an instant, it struck out and collided with the Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple's fist. Su Yen did not move. No matter how strong the mystical power was, it could not move the Transcendence godly armor. On the contrary, the Alcade city's inheritance's disciple trembled all over. A series of bone-cracking sounds could be heard. Under the flabbergasted gazes of all around, the Alcade city's inheritance's disciple's entire palm could not withstand Su Yan's physical strength. His arm collapsed layer by layer, and even half his body caved in. Ah! The Alcade city's inheritance's disciple let out a tragic cry. The ferocious beast he was riding disintegrated under Su Yan's power. He coughed out a mouthful of blood and flew out like a dead dog. Impossible! The surrounding people paled. Although Su Yan had the Transcendence godly armor protecting his body, it was still very difficult for him to paralyze the Alcade Palace Hall's inheritance's disciple with a single punch. What a terrifying physical body! It's like I'm looking at the sun. His vitality is surging and his meridians are like dragons and tigers. His physical body is too domineering. He's not at the transcendent realm, but he can injure a transcendent realm cultivator. The monster race cultivators were all scared. No wonder the little dragon king invited him. It turned out that this person's combat strength was so abnormal. Bastard! Gopeng almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. He screamed, "Kill him! I want to grind his bones to dust." His heart ached. This should have been his son's good fortune. He speculated that Su Yan had bathed in the true dragon's blood to have such a strong physical body. For a time, cultivators from all directions madly rushed over. Together with Gopeng, it could be said that they were like a stormy sea from the 9 heavens. They forced their way towards Su Yan. They were already less than 10 meters away from him. With just this kind of pressure, Su Yan's transcendent's godly armor almost cracked. However, he remained unmoved. Just as these people rushed towards Su Yan, 12 short spears appeared in the space around Su Yan. Suddenly, they exploded to the extreme and turned into 12 giant spears. They flowed with a terrifying aura that could pierce through the void. It was as if they wanted to tear apart the heavens. "I'll let you have a taste of the power of a killing array." Su Yan looked up to the sky and roared. His surroundings were filled with a boundless killing light. Chapter 191. A Killing Array Artifact. The Xue family elder who was about to rush over had a drastic change in expression. He recognized this killing array artifact. It had appeared at the Cosmos Business Alliance's auction and had been bought by a mysterious person in the highest private room. But how could this item be in the hands of a small cultivator? Could it be that he had a great background? It must be this killing array artifact that killed Uncle Xue Ming. Xuelong angrily said, "Quickly rush over and capture him. Don't act recklessly. This killing array artifact is extremely powerful. It can even kill law phase experts." The Xue family's doyen stopped Xuelong. His eyes were filled with shock. This young man was too savage. A large number of Alcade Hall's disciples had died, and even the inheritance disciples couldn't block the sudden explosion of the killing array artifact's power. Just like that, a large number of cultivators died and the legacy disciples cried out one after another. Even Gopeng found it difficult to resist. This was because the killing array artifact's power was too sudden. Moreover, it had burned to its strongest state. Gopeng was beaten until his hair was disheveled and his body was covered in wounds. He spat out blood and let out a miserable cry, "You little bastard, I will not forgive you." The surrounding people trembled. The killing array artifact had completely awakened its foundation. It had to be said that this killing array artifact was extremely tyrannical. The Alcade Hall disciples were cut down like weeds. Gopeng had only barely managed to block the killing array artifact's power when he had erupted to the extreme. Little bastard! Gopeng was seething with anger. He saw Su Yan quickly collect the spoils of war and even decisively use the space-shattering array to cross the territory. Su Yan did not dare to stay here any longer. He had killed so many Alcade Hall disciples. Once news of this spread, the Alcade Hall would definitely send a large number of people to kill him. Even the Xue family elder was unable to stop the space-shattering array. He furiously chased after Su Yan, following the trail of the space-shattering array. "You blind thing! You even dare to kill my Xue family's people and offend my elder brother. Even 100 lives won't be enough for you." Xuelong's roar caused Su Yan to sneer and say, "Northern Dipper Sovereign is just a despicable person. And you, little bastard, are actually so vicious at such a young age. You will suffer retribution in the future." Su Yan's response sent chills down the spines of the onlookers. He actually dared to insult the Honorable Big Dipper. Xuelong was furious. His entire body was erupting. Although he was very young, the essence blood in his body was too exuberant. It was roiling and recovering like a furnace, shocking everyone. The younger generation felt ashamed of their inferiority. Shuelong's foundation was truly astonishing. Buzz. Su Yen sets up a dozen space-breaking formations and quickly gets away from the Shui family's elders. What should we do next? If I keep running like this, I'll definitely be caught. Since Go Peng and the others were able to find me just now, they'll definitely be able to find me again. It's too dangerous for me to stay in the wilderness. Su Yen made a prompt decision, changed his appearance, and rushed toward Marsh City. There's always a way out. I, Su Yen, don't believe that I won't have a foothold in Alcade City. Su Yen clenched his fist. There was no way out. His eyes were filled with ruthlessness as he prepared to play a big game. When Su Yen returned to Marsh City, the entire city was in an uproar. Alcade Hall suffered heavy casualties. Although Go Peng survived, his vitality was greatly damaged. It'll be difficult for him to recover in a few years. Moreover, more than half of Alcade Hall's legacy disciples are dead. Someone gasped and said with a trembling voice, although some survived by luck, they're missing limbs. The 10 great legacy disciples are equivalent to being crippled. For a moment, Marsh City was in an uproar. The news spread to Alcade City, and many Injie rushed over to Marsh City. This is heaven-defying. Who is this Su Yen? He grasped a killing array artifact and nearly crippled Go Peng. Only 3 of the 10 great legacy disciples from Alcade Hall survived. Their vitality was greatly damaged, and it'll be difficult for them to climb back up in the future. The entire Alcade Hall only has a few dozen legacy disciples in this generation, but half of them were crippled in an instant. This young man called Su Yen is too ruthless. The most shocking thing is that Su Yen killed Xueming and even imprisoned Shueguan's divine perception for refinement. When did such a ruthless person appear in our Alcade planet's younger generation? Even this storm was caused by Su Yen. The news he released caused a bunch of old farts to come out of seclusion. Although Alcade Hall's heritage was deep, and its legacy disciples were changed every 50 years, the commotion caused by having one of the 10 great legacy disciples crippled was too great. After all, Alcade Hall was the overlord of Alcade Planet. The news flew out as though it had grown wings. The name Su Yen shook the world, and it was comparable to the younger generation's prodigies. How interesting! In the Cosmos Business Alliance, Zi Xuning laughed in surprise when she heard the news. I wonder what kind of enmity he has with Shueguan. This kid is audacious. The black-robed man laughed in spite of himself. Unfortunately, his cultivation is too low. Shueguan won't let him off easily. Han Tong will once again try to divine Su Yan's whereabouts. Miss, you even invited him to carry out a mission. I think this kid is already very lucky to be able to safely wait until the Star Tomb opens. Little Dragon King found it hard to believe. He didn't expect Su Yen to be the real culprit behind the scenes. He was already famous enough, but all he attracted was the killing intent of Alcade Hall and the Shui family. Alcade Hall was already furious and sent a large number of experts to Marsh City. Even the Shui family was furious and sent a group of people to attack Marsh City. All of a sudden, Marsh City's younger generation gathered and offered a reward. As long as anyone could provide clues about Su Yen, they would be rewarded with 300,000 origin essence stones. This was a huge amount of wealth. Even the Shui family offered a reward, which was even more than the Alcade Hall's reward. Su Yen quickly swept through all the major stores. His harvest was not small. The Alcade Hall's legacy disciple had a batch of good items. Su Yen obtained quite a number of origin essence stones and some precious ores. He threw out a large sum of money and began to purchase large quantities of precious ores. In addition to the batch of ores that Su Yen obtained at the auction, the value was quite high. It wasn't a small sum when added together. Young master, are you sure you want to buy this? The people in this store were shocked. Su Yen wanted to buy a void array platform. This was a small void array platform. Although it was a one-time use array platform, it was worth 8 kilograms of heaven essence stones. It wasn't a small sum. I'll buy it. Su Yen gritted his teeth. The void-shattering array couldn't be compared to the small void array platform. This kind of small void array platform could allow one to traverse the void. I'll hide here. I don't believe he can calculate my precise location. Give me some time, and I'll make you suffer. Su Yen quickly headed to a popular cultivation shop in Marsh City and rented the strongest cultivation shop. He was even worried and set up all kinds of formation marks inside, sealing the entire cultivation room tightly. When I step into the sixth heaven of the Saint Gate realm, I'll open the sixth Daesong Gate. My combat strength will increase again. Su Yen took out the Heaven's Essence Stone and absorbed the divine power contained within it. Using such a treasure, his cultivation speed was too fast, making tremendous progress in a day. Surging origin essence chi gathered in Su Yan's limbs and bones, penetrating into his life spring. He was trying his best to break through to the sixth heaven of the Saint Gate realm. At the same time, Su Yan's primordial spirit flew out. Holding the origin brush, he started a large-scale project. Once the heavenly dragon array is copied, I'll borrow the chi of the small dragon vein to construct a super-powerful array. Even Transcendence Realm experts have a high chance of being killed. One had to know that Array Dao could kill with arrays. However, it was different when the mystical sect masters mastered Array Dao. Su Yen was now a third-grade quasi-mystical sect master. Once he evolved the Heavenly Dragon Array, he could borrow the power of the Heavenly Dragon Array to erupt with chi of the dragon vein. That would be the true strength. However, the price was too high. Not only did it require ores, but it also required a large number of origin essence stones to activate the Heavenly Dragon Array. Days passed, and Su Yen seemed to have evaporated into thin air. The Shui family and Arcade Hall were even more furious. They started to increase the reward, especially when the Shui family took out a set of Transcendence divine weapons. These rewards were too shocking. Some factions were searching for Su Yan's whereabouts, but they couldn't find any trace of Su Yan. Big news. Someone couldn't hold back and attacked Shui Guan. On this day, Arcade City was in turmoil. 3 mighty lords joined forces to attack Shui Guan's location. Fortunately, Arcade City was strong enough. Otherwise, the entire city would have been overturned. Some people saw the 2 chaos treasures awaken, their power shocking the heavens and earth. Strands of chaos fog soared into the sky. Some people even saw the stars in outer space shatter. These were chaos treasures. They were terrifying to the extreme. Once they awakened, even a mighty lord like Arcade Hall Master would be killed. The sky has been pierced, and some stars have fallen. The chaos treasure's power is too terrifying. The Big Dipper Sovereign is still the strongest. With 2 chaos treasures protecting him, the older generation can only watch helplessly. The Big Dipper Sovereign hasn't uttered a word. It seems like Shui Guan has quite a few king medicines. He has already sold one to Han Tong's master. No wonder Han Tong's master took action. I heard Han Tong has been divining Su Yan's whereabouts day and night. It's very difficult to sense his exact location, but he can lock onto him in the vicinity of Marsh City. Arcade Planet had signs of an impending storm, especially news from the Savage Mountain Forest. The Star Tomb was shaking day and night. It was definitely close to opening. You guys only know how to deal with my brother. When the Star Tomb opens and the Big Dipper Star appears, I'll see who can stand out to deal with the geniuses from outer space. When the time comes, the Big Dipper Star region will lose a lot of face. It will be so shameful that it will be thrown into the universe. Xuelong was indignant, but he also felt the stakes. The incoming mighty lords were too shocking. They secretly held chaos treasures and couldn't see through their origins. And the trash hiding in Marsh City. How long can you hide? Xuelong appeared in Marsh City and said coldly, "The entire 1,000-mile radius of Marsh City has been trapped. How long can you hide? I don't believe you'll hide in Marsh City for the rest of your life. Princess Alkaid arrived in her jade war chariot. She was arrogant as she waved her silver whip and said disdainfully, "You even dare to provoke Brother Shwegwan. You're courting death. Su Yen, go ahead and hide. Unfortunately, you can't hide anymore. The 1,000-mile radius has been locked down. Let's see where you can escape to. Find him even if you have to dig 3 feet into the ground." Princess Yaoguang's notoriety was not small. Her words caused the entire street to become silent. No one dared to provoke this rude and unreasonable princess. Princess Alkaid hadn't forgotten how she made a fool of herself. Now that she had confirmed that this person was Su Yen, she was gnashing her teeth in hatred. Oh no, they've brought a cardinal treasure. Tai Baokai was mixed in the crowd and noticed that the void array in Marsh City had been activated. 3 figures with astonishing auras crossed the void and arrived in Marsh City. All of a sudden, Marsh City was in turmoil. The 3 great prodigies had actually come together. Great Sun Alkaid was like a starry sky divine furnace. He was majestic and awe-inspiring. Great Sun Alkaid's entire body radiated the divine light of the sun. The chi and blood in his body were flourishing as he bathed in the golden divine radiance. This was a golden god with a cold expression. Han Tong was the eldest senior brother of the Big Dipper Hall. His aura was very calm, and one couldn't tell how strong he was. However, the mirror he wielded was very terrifying. It scattered down divine light that pierced through the void. The starry sky mirror of the Big Dipper Hall is a Tao weapon that the Big Dipper Hall's Grand Elder had. It can pierce through the void. Han Tong actually brought the starry sky mirror. It seems like he's prepared to capture Su Yen. It's rumored that the starry sky mirror can see through illusions. Han Tong was very confident, but Shuelong was still a little worried. Great Sun Alkaid smiled. "Sky Dragon, don't worry. Since our eldest senior brother has made his move, we'll find this person in 3 to 5 days. Go on, find him. I'll make your faces turn green." Su Yen had worked day and night to copy the Heavenly Dragon Array, and he was halfway done. Chapter 192. In the cultivation room, this piece of Heaven's Essence Stone was almost completely refined by Su Yen. Inside his treasure body, there was an abundance of divine energy. The energy contained in the Heaven's Essence Stone was extremely shocking. Strands of energy penetrated into Su Yan's life spring, allowing his life spring to accumulate a vast amount of divine energy and contain a vast amount of life energy. The 6th sacred gate was faintly discernible. Once one stepped into the 6th firmament of the Tao Gate realm, their combat strength would be more than double that of the 5th firmament. Especially the sacred gate that Su Yen opened, its combat strength would be even more terrifying. Once the 6th Daesong gate appeared, the divine power in Su Yan's body would undergo an earth-shattering change. After continuously absorbing for half a day, the divine power contained in this piece of Heaven's Essence Stone was completely exhausted. Su Yan's body shone brightly as the 6th sacred gate was instantly awakened. It was dazzling as if a sacred gate spring had opened. In an instant, all sorts of primordial phenomena appeared within the sacred gate space. The moment the gate opened, the surging essence crashed into the secret cultivation room, causing it to tremble. The commotion caused by Su Yan's breakthrough was too great. The 6 Daesong gates appeared in the sky like 6 blazing suns. The divine power that fell from between them contained the vigorous essence of heaven and earth. Boom! Even the 6 Daesong gates seemed to fuse into one. Su Yan's body was filled with ferocious waves. The vigorous divine power was like a roaring river, intertwining with the light of the rules. It was dazzling. 6th firmament of the Tao Gate realm. Su Yan's eyes suddenly opened. The essence energy in his body surged. He smiled. He felt that with his 6th firmament sacred gate power, he should be able to resist the power of the divine power. They are so fast. I don't have much time left. Su Yan stood at the door and looked into the distance. He realized that Yao Guang and the other two were about to complete their search of the entire wilderness. He hurried back and copied the remaining traces of the heavenly dragon array. He estimated that he would be able to complete it in 2 or 3 days. Marsh City was in a turbulent situation. Geniuses of the younger generation gathered. All sorts of geniuses were paying attention to how this matter would end. It was bustling outside the city. Qi. The starry sky treasure mirror in Han Tong's hands was like a void god realm. The surface of the mirror flowed with starlight, sending down strands of starry sky ripples that illuminated the territories. The galaxy treasure mirror was very strong, and no falsehood could escape its detection. It had been an entire day, and the wilderness had been searched clean. The result made Princess Yaoguang scream, "What a daring Su Yan! He actually hid in Marsh City. Did he eat the guts of a god? Big brother Han Tong, quickly find him. I can't wait to see him kneel in Brilliance City and repent." Shuelong was young, but he had a very bad temper. His face was ashen. Su Yan had caused such a huge disaster, yet he still dared to hide in Marsh City. This made Shuelong flustered and exasperated. A tinge of anger flashed across Yao Guang's face. All the ancient cities in Yao Guang City, big and small, were basically under their control. He really hadn't expected that Su Yan would choose to hide in Marsh City. Things had exceeded his expectations. "Don't worry, a small ant can't escape from the palm of my hand." Han Tong was very confident. He was skilled in the Tao of divination and was known as the Little Divine Mathematician. He was very confident in finding a small cultivator. "Brat, you're on your own. We'll catch you soon." Tai Baokai mixed in with the wild beasts and kept watching. He figured out why Su Yan chose to stay in Marsh City. Marsh City had a small dragon vein. Su Yan was, after all, a strange person. If he could really control the power of the small dragon vein, then it would be shocking. Yao Guang and the rest would be at a great disadvantage. They're searching Marsh City. The result made the faces of the cultivators in the city turn green. This was because Han Tong was extremely powerful. He directly projected the power of the galaxy treasure mirror and scattered it on the first street of Marsh City. Some people were incomparably furious, but they didn't dare to make a sound. After all, no one was willing to be seen through completely, and any secrets would be found out. "What are you glaring at?" Princess Yaoguang waved her silver whip and said angrily, "You are all citizens of my Yaoguang Hall. Can't you see that our Yaoguang Hall is searching for the real culprit? You still dare to glare? Be careful not to cause a disaster. Behave yourselves. If you dare to make the slightest move, I'll kill you without mercy." Shuelong was full of confidence. He took out a great killing weapon and had the demeanor of a peerless expert. His gaze was fixed on the people on this street. If anyone dared to make a move, he would definitely act immediately. Who could afford to offend the Shui family and Yaoguang Hall, two colossal forces? The people of Marsh City could only curse in their hearts. They really didn't doubt that these two hedonistic disciples would kill them. This is too much. I really hope that Su Yan will come out and slap these two hedonistic disciples to death. Yes, they're openly using the galaxy treasure mirror to observe everyone. Who can stand them? If they were in a bustling city, they wouldn't dare to do this even if they had a few guts. Someone said indignantly, "It's a pity that our Marsh City doesn't have Jia. We can only let them do whatever they want." How hateful. I really hope that Su Yan won't be caught by them. The cultivators of Marsh City dared to be angry but didn't dare to say anything. They're getting closer and closer to me. Su Yan's movements sped up. He was sweating profusely as he continuously inscribed runes with the Genesis brush. The heavenly dragon array he was inscribing this time required over 100 array discs. It was a huge project. Without the Genesis brush, Su Yan would have to spend at least a month or two, and the success rate wouldn't even be high. Marsh City's aura became more oppressive with every passing hour. This trash can't even dodge this. Yaoguang Hall's expression was indifferent as he clasped his hands behind his back. He had seen Su Yan once and had a deep impression of Su Yan. After all, Su Yan had made him lose face in front of the young Dragon King. I reckon that this trash is currently panicking and hiding everywhere. Even if he can hide, where can he hide? In another day, we'll be able to search the entire Marsh City. Princess Yaoguang said ferociously, Su Yan, if you don't come out now, you'll have to suffer. If you kneel here now, you'll suffer less. It's too late. Even if he kneels here and kowtows, we can't let him off so easily. Shuelong said with a cruel expression, Trash, let's see how long you can endure. No wonder he's so awesome. So he's Shueguan's younger brother. Tai Baokai stood up and stared at Shuelong with its panda eyes. It felt warm in its heart as it muttered, the essence blood in his body is so vigorous at such a young age. God knows how many good things this brat has eaten. This beast god has observed that his body is bursting with treasure radiance, so he must have a lot of treasures on him. He even has the power of the great Tao concealing his body. He definitely has a Tao weapon on him. Tai Baokai didn't dare to provoke Shueguan now, but it was very concerned about Shuelong. It had been following behind them, waiting for an opportunity to strike. This is the last street. This was the most popular street in the city, and there were many cultivators with powerful backgrounds on this street. They immediately stood up and refused to let Han Tong use the Starry Sky treasure mirror on them. Princess Yaoguang said, Fellow cultivators, please remain calm. The real culprit must be detained. Shueguan is still waiting for news in Yaoguang City. Princess Yaoguang mentioned Shueguan directly, causing these people's faces to turn black. They really didn't dare to offend Supreme North Star. Wait for me to search the other places. Maybe I'll find him. If he really isn't here, Su Yan is mixed in with your crowd. Han Tong took out the Galaxy Treasure Mirror and started to search the area. His words were very clear. If he really couldn't find him, he would forcefully see their true faces. For a moment, these people's faces turned green, but they didn't dare to say anything. After searching for a while, Han Tong frowned slightly. The Galaxy Treasure Mirror was shining on a cultivation shop, but when the mirror shone on one of the cultivation rooms, the image was a little blurry. Could he be here? Han Tong sneered. The Galaxy Treasure Mirror burned even brighter. The surface of the mirror was filled with the aura of the stars. The mirror's surface was very shocking, and the light that shone down illuminated the cultivation room. Suddenly, the blurry aura in the cultivation room became clear. The mirror even reflected a white-clothed youth who was sitting cross-legged in the cultivation room. It's him. I would recognize him even if he turned to ashes. Princess Yaoguang was overjoyed. I finally found him. This trash was actually hiding here. He actually has the mind to cultivate here. What a surprise. Trash, get your ass out here and submit to the law. Shuelong couldn't help but roar. His entire body shone with divine light. There were at least 5 or 6 treasures shining in his body. The aura emitted from his body hit the cultivation room that was covered in layers of array marks. The cultivation room automatically lit up to resist. Princess Yaoguang shook his head. He pointed with his finger, and the entire cultivation room rumbled. The layers of array marks were cut apart by the divine light from his fingertip. Just like that, a large crack was forcefully opened in the cultivation room. Heavens, he's really here! The entire Marsh City was in an uproar. They all saw Su Yan sitting cross-legged in the cultivation room. He was actually still meditating. Could it be that he didn't know anything about what was happening outside? Seeing this scene, Tai Baotsai's mind was set. He secretly took out the bronze cauldron and prepared to find an opportunity to kidnap Shuelong. Shuelong and the others wanted to see Su Yan's wonderful expression. Unfortunately, Su Yan's face didn't have any ripples. He opened his eyes and looked at these people. he smiled faintly. "I didn't expect so many acquaintances to come. What kind of auspicious day is today? What are you all doing here?" "Today is naturally your auspicious day," Princess Yaoguang said eerily. "Trash, you're so calm. Are you already prepared to commit suicide?" "Commit suicide? It's impossible for him to commit suicide." Shuelong smiled coldly. "I'm living well. Why would I commit suicide?" Su Yan stood up and shrugged his shoulders, looking indifferent. "You guys, on the other hand, used your power to oppress others and put on airs to search Marsh City. I wonder how many times your 18 generations of ancestors have been greeted." These words made everyone in Marsh City roar in their hearts and applaud. "Hero, you've said what I wanted to say. Go on your way in peace. I'll burn some paper for you," some people thought as they prepared to secretly worship Su Yan. "Bastard, I'll tear your mouth apart." Princess Yaoguang was the first to rush up. She drove the Emerald War Chariot and wanted to directly kill Su Yan here. Boom! Su Yan took out his celestial body at lightning speed. The celestial body erupted with thousands of galaxies, rumbling and revealing a vast starry sky aura. Supreme-grade celestial body. Tai Baokai suddenly roared. Princess Yaoguang and the rest were also overwhelmed with emotions. They rushed towards the cultivation room, wanting to snatch away Su Yan's natal cauldron. Han Tong frowned and wanted to stop them, but it was too late. Under the temptation of a supreme-grade celestial body, Princess Yaoguang and the rest couldn't resist rushing in. The value of supreme-grade celestial bodies was shocking, much more terrifying than a Dao weapon. In an instant, the entire secret cultivation room exploded from the pressure of the cultivators who had stepped in. The eyes of Great Sun Yaoguang and the others turned red. One after another, large hands grabbed towards the life cauldron that Su Yan had summoned. "Open the formation!" Su Yan stepped into the sky. Hundreds of formation discs burned at the same time. Their auras merged into one, filling the air with terrifying airflow that shattered the clouds. It made the entire Marsh City tremble as thousands of layers of earth vein chi emerged. This was the scene of hundreds of rivers flowing into the sea. Chapter 193. Boom! A deafening explosion reverberated throughout Marsh City. Suddenly, beams of resplendent light soared up from the bustling Marsh City. Hundreds of resplendent lights pierced through the clouds. The entire cultivation shop could not withstand the power of the Heavenly Dragon Array's activation. It completely disintegrated and turned into ruins. This was the highest standard cultivation ground in Marsh City, and also the head of the small dragon veins. It originally contained powerful dragon vein energy, and now that it had sunk, it emitted millions of layers of dragon vein energy. Su Yan even took out countless origin essence stones and combined them with the Heavenly Dragon Array's eruption, causing a corner of Marsh City to erupt with a monstrous divine light that illuminated the starry sky. It was a shocking scene. The entire Marsh City was rumbling. The moment the Heavenly Dragon Array awakened, the power of hundreds of array discs combined into one, spreading out a vast ocean-like power that pierced through the sky. Rumble! The entire street sunk. Endless earth vein energy awakened, turning into rolling killing lights that rampaged in the sky and earth. Accompanied by the phantoms of heavenly dragons, intertwined with the power of the killing array, it began to operate here. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. A super array was activated here, and even the power of the small dragon veins was activated. It could be said that a great figure was awakening here, erupting with terrifying divine power. Bam! The first to rush in was Princess Yaoguang. The emerald chariot she was driving exploded on the spot. Princess Yaoguang was paralyzed with fear, her eyes filled with fear, and her entire body was cold. Not good! Prince Yaoguang's expression changed. His aura penetrated the heavens and earth. It could be said that a starry sky divine furnace was burning here. His entire body erupted with a terrifying aura, trying to push open the power of the Heavenly Dragon Array. Even his palms covered the sky as they struck out towards Su Yan. Because Su Yan was rushing towards Princess Yao Guang, his eyes were cold. Millions of layers of dragon vein energy surged out from his body, its power shocking the heavens and earth. "Brat, send me in!" Tai Baokai screamed. The heavenly dragon array was self-contained, extracting dragon vein energy as it operated. The entire heavenly dragon array was like 100,000 mountains collapsing, making everyone feel as if they were struck by lightning. Even people as strong as Yao Guang and the others were facing immense pressure and found it extremely difficult to break free, let alone protect the others. "What are you doing?" Princess Yao Guang was so scared that she almost peed in her pants. Goosebumps appeared all over her body. At this moment, Su Yan was too terrifying. He was like a demon king. Her dragon vein energy surged out and blocked Great Sun Yao Guang's palm. Bang! Su Yan slapped Princess Yao Guang to the point that she was about to shatter into pieces. However, she had a protective artifact on her body that resisted Su Yan's abnormal strength. However, this slap also shattered her artifact. Princess Yao Guang was sent flying, her body cracked. Bastard! Yao Guang Great Son, Kai Yang Great Son, Shui family elder. The power of the three powerhouses was shocking. They were like three giant pillars that held up the sky, resisting the killing power of the heavenly dragon formation. Their expressions were furious. They wanted to break free, but the heavenly dragon formation had activated the chi of the dragon veins. It could be said that the divine might of the great figures was surging out. "Stop. If you dare to kill him, there will be no place for you to hide in the Big Dipper starfield." Great Sun Yao Guang roared angrily. He exploded with an extremely terrifying aura, wanting to open the heavenly dragon formation. Other than a few transcendent realm cultivators who could barely endure, the rest of the cultivators died in large numbers. They exploded into a bloody mist and died in the heavenly dragon formation. The entire heavenly dragon formation was dyed red with blood. Princess Yao Guang was screaming in pain. Her hair was disheveled, and her face was bruised and swollen. "Do you really think that I, Su Yan, can be bullied and called a trash fish?" Su Yan was cold. He walked step by step towards Princess Yao Guang and said majestically, "You are not even a trash fish." No. Princess Yao Guang was terrified. Her scalp was numb, and her body was covered in blood. She no longer had a domineering attitude. She almost knelt here and kowtowed to admit her mistake. "Go repent in the underworld." Su Yan's palm struck. Countless chi of the earth veins erupted with him. He was like an angry dragon. He charged forward and kicked Princess Yao Guang away. "No." Princess Yao Guang's miserable voice reverberated. Everyone in Marsh City was dumbfounded. Princess Yao Guang was kicked to death by Su Yan. "Bastard!" Yao Guang was furious. His hair danced in the wind. His entire body was completely unsealed. The moment his divine aura erupted, it shook the heavens and the earth. Even the heavenly dragon formation was shaking slightly. At this moment, Mizar and the rest tried their best to recover to the extreme. They were like giant golden pillars that emitted a shocking source of energy. The entire heavenly dragon formation almost exploded. The energy absorption is almost done. The moment Su Yan's voice was heard, Yao Guang and the rest had a bad feeling. The entire heavenly dragon formation suddenly surged with a terrifying source of energy. The moment the huge heavenly dragon formation sucked, the entire Marsh City was as black as ink. What kind of shocking method was this? All the chi of the dragon veins had been sucked clean. Boom! Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the heavenly dragon formation. The chi of the dragon veins brewed a monstrous killing intent. Heaven and earth turned blood-red, emitting an aura that could shatter the sky and split the sea. A large number of cultivators fell like grass. It was very difficult for them to withstand the killing intent of the heavenly dragon formation. This place turned into a blood-red purgatory. Layer after layer of blood-red afterimages swept across the surroundings. The three experts felt as if they had been struck by lightning. They coughed up blood as they encountered a killing intent that could destroy everything. This was the chi of the dragon veins. It was extremely domineering. Layer after layer gushed out. Even Dharma characteristic experts found it difficult to withstand. In order to open the formation, Su Yen had used up countless origin essence stones. He had almost used up everything. Dharma characteristic experts could naturally be trapped. The main reason was that the power of the dragon veins was strong. Once the heavenly dragon formation collapsed, the dragon veins foundation would be greatly damaged. In the next moment, the Shui family elder almost wet his pants. A black and white panda came out of nowhere and raised its claws to attack Shuelong. However, Shuelong was extraordinary. All kinds of divine weapons hidden in his body erupted and blocked the Tai Baotsai's power. "How dare you? How dare you target me?" Shuelong laughed angrily. "This killing formation is very strong, but it's impossible to kill me. When the heavenly dragon formation's divine power dissipates, I'll see what else you have left. Damn you, I'll beat you to death." The Tai Baokai was furious. It took out the 9 dragon's sword and slashed at Shuelong. Shuelong's expression changed. The 9 dragon's sword merged into a terrifying sword embryo that could split the sky. The Tai Baokai swung it and slashed at Shuelong. "Bastard, stop!" The Shui family elder was furious. A terrifying Dao aura was born in his body. After all, he was Shuelong's guardian. Shui Guan had specially given him a Dao weapon to protect Shuelong's safety. "How dare you!" Mizar Juzi and the other 2 were also furious. If Shuelong Hua died here, they would not be able to escape the blame. Mizar Juzi took out a divine cauldron, while Yaoguang Juzi took out a stellar sword. The 2 supreme treasures were filled with Dao aura. It was extremely terrifying and could cause the entire heavenly dragon formation to disintegrate. Ong. Su Yen soared into the sky. His long black hair danced in the wind. The array Dao aura from his body stirred up the vast chi of dragon veins in the heavenly dragon formation. In an instant, thousands of essence chi dragons soared into the sky around Su Yen, pushing his aura into the sky. Mystical cultivator. All the cultivators in Marsh City were in an uproar. In a corner of Marsh City, divine light pierced through the clouds and shot into the sky. At this moment, Su Yen was extremely powerful. Countless chi of dragon veins surged out with him, piercing through the sky. He was like a god of war in the starry sky, filled with a monstrous aura. "Kill!" Su Yen roared and took out the stellar pagoda. He used the chi of dragon veins to conceal the stellar pagoda's body and awakened the power of bamboo moons, Dao within the stellar pagoda. At this moment, the entire heavenly dragon formation was used by Su Yen. He became one with the dragon veins, and the divine energy in his body was vigorous to the extreme. He had unparalleled combat strength that could topple mountains and overturn seas. Rumble! Under the incredulous gazes of everyone in Marsh City, Su Yen could be called a young god of war. He struck out with a mysterious Dao weapon, causing the 3 powerful cultivators to tremble. They were about to be suppressed by the stellar pagoda. Mystical cultivator. Su Yen is actually a mystical cultivator. Young Dragon King was shocked. Su Yen had completely grasped the power of Marsh City's dragon veins. At this moment, his divine energy was like a vast ocean. Young Dragon King was shocked. Su Yen was too shocking. The divine energy in his body was like a vast ocean of dragon veins, comparable to the energy in the body of an important figure. His magic power was monstrous. The divine energy was like a sea, illuminating the sky. He used the power of the stellar pagoda to suppress the 3 powerful cultivators. It had to be said that the treasure that Bamboo Moon left for him was tyrannical. The power of the great Tao that erupted from it made the three great Tao weapons controlled by Yao Guang and the rest wail. Although they had a great background, what was a Tao weapon? It was impossible for them to control a Tao weapon that was too powerful. Kid, lend me a hand. First, dig out the treasure in his body. I can feel the aura of a rare treasure. Tai Baokai was extremely anxious. Xuelong's body was covered in a radiant glow that even contained boundless Tao power. It was extremely difficult for the 9 dragons' treasured sword to split open. You guys are in big trouble. My brother will be here soon. Wait for your deaths. Xuelong was furious. He knew very well that he had the great Tao pearl protecting him. Even a Transcendence Realm cultivator would find it difficult to harm a single strand of his hair. Rumble! At this moment, the stellar pagoda that was suspended in the sky rumbled. Thousands of starlight beams that contain the power of the great Tao rained down, covering the entire starry sky and manifesting all sorts of blurry cosmic stars. Stop! The Xue family elder roared. His eyes were bleeding. He saw that a corner of Xuelong's protective light had been crushed. The aura of the stellar pagoda made Xuelong feel like he was about to explode. Ah! Xuelong screamed. His whole body was covered in blood. The bones in his body were all broken. He let out a terrified cry. At this moment, he was about to be destroyed in body and soul by the stellar pagoda. Ha ha, this bestiality is rich. Tai Baokai grinned happily. He pulled out one treasure after another from Xuelong's life spring. Chapter 194. This is a rare occurrence in 100 years. Great Sun Mizar and Great Sun Yao Guang, 2 young prodigies, are being suppressed by a small cultivator. There's also an elder from the Xue family. They have 3 great Tao weapons, but they are being suppressed. Marsh City was in an uproar. 2 young prodigies and an elder from the Xue family. They had a Tao weapon, but they couldn't break open the heavenly dragon formation. Anyone could see that the mysterious divine Tao weapon Su Yen had was peerless. It was suppressing the 3 great Tao weapons on top of the heavenly dragon formation. It was definitely a top-notch Tao weapon. Ah! Su Yen laughed heartily. His magic power was now overwhelming. The strength of the divine power in the body of a great figure had completely awakened the star pagoda, evolving the supreme power of the great path of the bamboo moon. When the 3 great Tao divine weapons were wailing, there was a tendency for them to be suppressed. The 3 experts were furious. Xuelong's protective divine light had been split open. If Xuelong died here, they would be in big trouble. By then, they would lose all their face. You must not kill him. Little Dragon King transmitted his voice. Once you kill Xuelong, things will get serious. The Yao Guang Hall can't be compared to the Xue family. You must not kill him. Su Yen and Tai Baokai both understood that Xue Guan was suspected to be the inheritance of a mighty figure. If he went crazy and took out the King of Medicine as a reward, there would definitely be old monsters chasing them all over the world. Unless there was no other choice, Xuelong couldn't be eliminated now. My dear mother, look. There are too many treasures in Xuelong's life spring. The surrounding cultivators were all envious. Comparisons were odious. We're rich. Tai Baokai grinned excitedly and took out treasures after treasures from Xuelong's life spring. They were all shining and dazzling, containing abundant divine energy. More than a dozen treasures were taken out from his life spring. Their value was immeasurable. As the brother of the Big Dipper's supremacy, it would be strange if he wasn't rich. What is this? In the next moment, the item that Tai Baokai pulled out with all his might moved Mizar Juzi and the rest. Xuelong's life spring had a very strong Tao aura. It was a pearl that was manifesting on its own, emitting the power of Tao to guard Xuelong's life spring. Little bastard, if you don't release the thing, I will cut off your head. Tai Baokai roared in exasperation, kick it like a urinal. If you kill me, you will Tai Baocai's life. Xuelong clenched his teeth and roared. He had begged Shueguan for a long time before Shueguan agreed to give him this treasure. This treasure had been of great help to Shueguan when he was young. Rumble! A cold light flashed in Su Yan's eyes. The star pagoda in his hand blazed once again, illuminating the starry sky. This pagoda was terrifying beyond compare. It was overflowing with starlight, and there were terrifying cosmic stars floating inside. It was intertwined with the power of Tao and was about to collapse the outer realm. After I kill you, we will head to other star domains. What can your brother do to me? Su Yan's voice spread throughout the entire Marsh City, sending chills down everyone's spines. They could feel the killing intent, and they didn't doubt that Su Yan would kill Shuelong. The aura emitted by the star pagoda was enough to collapse the outer realm, causing Shuelong's soul to tremble. Let's go, the void formation's waves are getting more and more shocking. There must be a big shot coming. Little Dragon King transmitted a message secretly. Let's go, a big shot is coming. Su Yan's eyes were vertical, and killing intent shot out in all directions. The star pagoda emitted waves that could annihilate divine souls and pressured Shuelong. I'll give it to you. Shuelong was completely terrified. A pearl flew out from his life spring. It was colorful and overflowing with auspicious clouds. It automatically chanted the sound of Tao, causing the sun, moon, and stars to resonate. Great Tao Pearl. Mizar Juzi and the others were furious, and their eyes were burning with greed. This was the legendary Great Tao Pearl, a rare treasure that could help one comprehend the Tao. It was an extremely precious treasure, and its value was even more shocking than the primitive treasure liquid. After all, the primitive treasure liquid was a one-time use item, but the Great Tao Pearl was different. The Great Tao Pearl could allow a family to rise. After all, it could be passed down generation after generation, allowing a family to prosper. Ah! The Shui family elder screamed. He recognized this treasure. Shueguan obtained a Great Tao Pearl during his first trip to a Supreme Power's inheritance ground. This Great Tao Pearl was worn by Shueguan every day. Shueguan's current achievements were largely related to the Great Tao Pearl. After all, it could help one comprehend the Tao. If it wasn't for Shueguan, he wouldn't have touched upon the Great Tao so quickly. However, he didn't expect that the Great Tao Pearl would be in Shuelong's possession. This item was a clan-guarding treasure. Even superpowers would fight over it. This beast god is rich. Tai Baokai was so excited that his eyes turned red. He immediately recognized the arrival of the Great Tao Pearl. He immediately took out the bronze cauldron and placed the Great Tao Pearl inside, sealing the Great Tao Pearl's aura. Rumble! Suddenly, the void array in Marsh City shone brightly. A vast void aura gushed out, accompanied by a terrifying aura. Contained all sorts of incredible Great Tao auras. The big shots are here. Su Yan and Tai Baokai looked at each other and quickly gathered. Su Yan took out the void array platform and directly activated it. Stay here. Mizar Juzi and the others were furious. They used all their strength to break free from the Heavenly Dragon Array and the Stellar Pagoda's pressure. However, no matter how powerful they were, they couldn't break free from the array. When the Lesser Void Array activated, Su Yan and Tai Baokai jumped in and took the Stellar Pagoda that was suspended above the Heavenly Dragon Array. Dong! The Heavenly Dragon Array trembled violently. The three Great Tao weapons instantly awakened and swept out in all directions, distorting the entire Heavenly Dragon Array. Without Su Yan's control, the Heavenly Dragon Array couldn't suppress them for a while. At this moment, the big shot from the Shui family arrived. His angry roar shook the entire Marsh City. The distorted Heavenly Dragon Array also collapsed. Heavenly Dragon, who did this? When the big shot from the Shui family saw Shuelong's miserable state, he roared into the sky. His hair fluttered in the wind, and his roar shook the entire sky. The stars in the outer realm also moved and shook. An unparalleled Great Tao aura swept out in all directions. This was the fury of a big shot. Everything within 100,000 miles was on the verge of sinking. The entire marsh city was filled with large cracks. When the big shot was enraged, a phenomenon of millions of corpses appeared in the sky. His eyes were ferocious as he looked at the shattered lesser void array. Without any hesitation, he followed the void fluctuations and started to chase after Su Yen and Tai Baokai. Mizar Juzi and the other two prodigies were also enraged. They took out their war chariots and started to chase after them. For a time, Marsh City was shaken continuously. Some important figures had used the void array to cross over here. After learning about what had happened here, their expressions changed. One of Shuelong's great Dao pearls had been snatched away, and Princess Yaoguang had been kicked to death by Su Yen. The news flew out as if it had grown wings and spread throughout the vast rivers and mountains. It's a great Dao pearl. This treasure is confirmed. The Shui family actually had a great Dao pearl, but it was stolen by Su Yen. This is intolerable. This is a great Dao pearl. It's said that the Big Dipper Palace Hall has one, but there's only one. It's a rare treasure. It was stolen just like that. Wouldn't Shui Guan vomit blood? This was a violent storm that swept across Alcade Planet. The value of the great Dao pearl was too precious. It was of great help to any prodigy. After all, with the great Dao pearl, one's chances of comprehending the power of the great Dao would increase by 30%. This was already a number that could make people go crazy. Its value was even more shocking than a drop of primitive elixir. Thinking about the auction price of primitive elixir, more than 5,000 kilograms of Heaven's Essence stone wouldn't be enough to buy it. Then how much was the great Dao pearl worth? Su Yan's name shook the world overnight. Mizar Juzi and the other two prodigies were all stunned. He became a famous figure on Alcade Planet. It wouldn't take long for his name to spread throughout the Big Dipper Star region. Two prodigies were suppressed by a small cultivator and watched as Shuelong's great Dao pearl was stolen. Su Yen. Although he's just a small cultivator, he's a special cultivator. He controlled the Marsh City's dragon vein and suppressed the three Transcendence Realm expert. After that, the Marsh City's dragon vein's power plummeted. It lost 30% to 40% of its energy. It won't be able to recover without 100 years. Who is Su Yen? What sect is he from? What are his origins? The news spread throughout Alcade Planet. This matter was of great importance. Although there were important figures from the Shui family chasing after him, the void array had already set off. They would definitely be able to cross to a distant region. A person who appeared out of thin air and did such a sky-piercing thing attracted a lot of attention. It was said that Shui Guan's fury had covered the entire Alcade city. If it wasn't for the old bastard secretly watching him, he would have killed his way out long ago. The Shui family and Alcade Hall sent out large numbers of experts. Some other powers also joined in, wanting to take away the great Dao pearl. Alcade Planet was surging with winds and clouds. All the powers were nervously paying attention. Kiki, let that old bastard chase. Waves rose up from an underground river. Su Yen and the Tai Baokai fell down halfway. They entered the bronze cauldron, and the incomplete cauldron concealed their auras. However, the Shui family's important figures were still chasing after them through the void array. This treasure can conceal my aura. This way, they won't be able to deduce my whereabouts. Su Yan's mind calmed down. He then saw the Tai Baokai excitedly counting all kinds of treasures. Su Yan's eyes were sharp. He noticed a bracelet with resplendent pearls. Every pearl was full of essence and sprinkled with divine splendor. Su Yan quickly grabbed the pearl in his hand. The Tai Baokai was anxious. Brat, did you want this thing? Didn't you see a group of baldies engraved on the pearl? Give it to me quickly. Buzz! Su Yan's primordial spirit glowed brilliantly. As the Sutra of Future circulated, Su Yan's primordial spirit blossomed with Buddhist light. He was chanting Sanskrit in a sacred and dignified manner. What scripture is this? The Tai Baokai shrieked. He could vaguely see Su Yan's primordial spirit sitting cross-legged in the future, in a space-time that was difficult to touch. This was definitely a supreme ancient heavenly art. The moment Su Yan chanted the Sutra of Future, the bracelet glowed on its own. The 9 pearls awakened one after another, emitting a vast spirit fluctuation. In fact, the Buddhas engraved on each pearl seemed to have transformed into eminent monks of the Buddhist sections. They were sacred and dignified. Buzz! The moment the secret treasure of the Buddhist sects erupted, the 9 pearls rumbled and spun. They were like 9 sariras, spreading a vast Buddhist nature. Secret treasure of the Buddhist sects. The Tai Baotsai's eyes widened. Su Yan was shocked. The secret treasure of the Buddhist sects was worn on his primordial spirit's wrist. This is in essence spirit secret treasure. With such a secret treasure, even the primordial spirits of void reversion realm cultivators will find it difficult to hurt me. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. This item was too rare and extremely valuable. Although it was not a Dao weapon, its value was not much inferior to a Dao weapon. Chapter 195. More than 10 treasures were taken out from Xuelong's life spring. Most of them were defensive treasures that could withstand attacks from Transcendence realm cultivators. Tai Baokai clenched its teeth. Yuan's spirit secret treasures were very rare, but it couldn't control these Buddhist treasures. I'm a pauper now. I spent all my money to set up the Heavenly Dragon Array. Su Yan picked a few more treasures. Every treasure was flowing with brilliant lights and divine light radiated in all directions. Su Yan took all defensive treasures that could save his life at a critical moment. As long as he didn't encounter any big shots, he would be able to escape unscathed. This Xuelong is too rich. Su Yan was speechless. Look at these items. None of them are ordinary. They are the treasures of the shop. We've made a fortune this time. If I didn't come, we wouldn't have gotten this. Tai Baotsai's life spring shone brightly as it refined many divine weapons. It grinned happily. I've become a rich man. Most Transcendence realm cultivators don't even have 2 or 3 Transcendence realm weapons. You know, the only thing left on Earth is your mirror. The rest are all divine weapons. That's right. Baokai, you secretly took off Xuelong's ring. Give it to me. Su Yan urged. Tai Baokai was unhappy. It took out the ring and said with a dark face, "The ring is mine. Since you have spatial treasures, this ring is mine. Hurry up, let's see how many treasures are in Xuelong's ring." Su Yan urged. Tai Baokai reluctantly opened the interspatial ring, and a bunch of things fell out. Su Yan and Tai Baokai were stunned. They both sucked in a breath of cold air. The things inside the interspatial ring made their eyes light up. First of all, there were more than 50 kilograms of Heaven's Essence stones. This was already a huge fortune. There were dozens of bottles of various elixirs. Su Yan opened some of the bottles and found that they were all grade 4 or 5 elixirs. They were very beneficial for cultivation, and most of them were elixirs to strengthen the body. True dragon blood. Tai Baokai was excited. They found 2 full jars of true dragon blood inside, which made Su Yan almost laugh. He didn't expect that the items he took out for the auction would now return to his hand. Don't try to snatch it from me. Tai Baokai grinned and said, "Your physical body is already strong enough. The true dragon blood is mine." "No problem. The true dragon's blood is yours and the Heaven's Essence stones are mine. I urgently need the Heaven's Essence stones to cultivate." Su Yan's heroic appearance made Tai Baokai suspicious. "Brat, could it be that you took out this true dragon blood?" At this point, Tai Bao added, "This beast god almost forgot that true dragon blood is used to trade for primordial divinity medicines. You are a tyrant, you have true dragon blood yet you still want to steal my treasures. Hurry up, give me some more." Su Yan felt helpless and told him what had happened. Yun has joined the Crepe Myrtle sect. Tai Baokai shook the fur on his body and said in shock, Qualified to give birth to the extreme moon saint physique, this Yun actually has the potential to become a supreme physique. This crepe myrtle sect is a superpower in the Ziwei segmentum. I didn't expect Yun to have such a good fortune. You know about the crepe myrtle sect? Su Yen asked. She won't be in danger, right? Impossible, the crepe myrtle sect is already terrifying enough. Moreover, the crepe myrtle sect only has female disciples. Tai Baokai said in shock. As for the extreme moon saint physique, it is a physique that the crepe myrtle sect yearns for even in their dreams. You can cultivate the crepe myrtle sect's core scriptures. Yun will definitely be valued. Just you wait, Yun will definitely become the crepe myrtle sect's saintess in the future. She will be a powerful figure in the future. Hee brat, when that day comes, the gap between you and Saintess Crepe Myrtle will be too big. You better be mentally prepared. Tai Baotsai's sarcastic remarks made Su Yen shake his head. As long as she was safe, he would be relieved. At this moment, Tai Baokai took out the Great Tao Pearl, the colorful Great Tao Pearl that was spewing out 5 colored godly rays. As soon as it was taken out, it roared on its own. It was trying to break free. After all, the Great Tao Pearl was Shuiguan's most precious treasure. It had Shuiguan's Yuan Shen imprint inside it. It was not easy to control the Great Tao Pearl. Let me convert him. Su Yen sat cross-legged in the bronze cauldron with a solemn expression. His forehead suddenly shone with bright Buddha rays. The Buddha beads on his wrist left his body, and the 9 beads shone on their own. They floated above Su Yan's Yuan Shen and started to rotate. At this moment, Su Yan's Yuan Shen shone brightly with Buddha rays. His Yuan Shen was about to become one with the Buddha beads. Layers of Buddha aura burst out from the Buddha beads. Each of the 9 Buddha beads had a Buddha manifestation. The moment they were activated by Su Yan, the power of the 9 Buddha beads pierced through Su Yan's Yuan Shen. Rumble! Su Yan's primordial spirit had recovered. It was resplendent and blazing as it charged forward, striking towards Shuiguan's primordial spirit imprint. Without the bronze cauldron, it was impossible to suppress the Great Tao Pearl. Now that the Great Tao Pearl was suppressed, no matter how strong Shuiguan's Yuan Shen was, it couldn't be that strong. What a powerful treasure! Tai Baokai was envious. Every attack of Su Yan's was filled with Buddhist light. It was as if a Buddhist sect's glaring Vajra was attacking. He continuously struck at Shuiguan's primordial spirit imprint, and every attack caused Shuiguan's primordial spirit imprint to become slightly dimmer. Dozens of times in a row, under the illumination of the vast Buddhist light, Shuiguan's primordial spirit imprint let out a miserable cry and disappeared completely from the Great Tao bead. Roar! A loud roar came from afar, causing the heaven and earth to tremble. The cultivators in Brilliance City were scared. They saw Shuiguan's disheveled hair and a faint crack on his forehead. His Yuan Shen sitting cross-legged inside had weakened greatly. Su Yen has refined Shuiguan's Yuan Shen imprint. The Great Tao Pearl has changed owners. Anyone could sense Shuiguan's anger. Last time, Su Yen imprisoned his divine will in the cauldron and refined it. This time, his precious treasure had been taken away, and his primordial spirit had been shattered. What kind of humiliation was this? It made Shuiguan furious to the extreme. His entire body unleashed a terrifying aura that was about to tear the sky apart. Big Dipper Supreme, he is fully deserving of the title. The younger generation sighed. Shuiguan's aura was too domineering. His life essence was as vigorous as the sea. Divine arts and secret techniques revealed several great divine art. Their auras were revealed and suppressed the sea and looked down on the world. Su Yen, you're just a small fry. All you did was use some unorthodox methods. The head of Shui family shouted angrily, "My son Shuiguan, the Big Dipper Supreme, the main character of the world, the invincible Ingjia. Crushing you is as easy as crushing an ant. Is he someone you can provoke? Now, the Shui family announces that we will offer a reward for a stalk of king medicine with Su Yan's head. We will not go back on our words. Brilliant City was surging. A stalk of king medicine was a shocking reward. Who wouldn't be tempted? Soon after, Brilliance Hall also made a move and offered a Dao weapon as a reward. Brilliance Princess was rude and unreasonable, but she was still the princess of Brilliance Hall. Now that she was kicked to death by Su Yan, Brilliance Hall was completely infuriated. However, Han Tong had tried many times and couldn't calculate Su Yan's whereabouts. He guessed that Su Yan had a supreme treasure on him to protect him. As the person involved, he was observing the Great Dao Pearl. The colorful Great Dao Pearl flowed with 5-colored divine radiance. It automatically transmitted the sound of the Great Dao and scattered a divine aura. It was as if it had formed a Great Dao immortal cave. It was a shocking manifestation. The Great Dao aura scattered by the Great Dao Pearl made Su Yan and Tai Baokai look solemn. At this moment they could clearly feel the power of the Great Dao. Su Yan was shocked. No wonder all the experts in the world wanted the Great Dao Pearl. It turned out that this item was so miraculous that it could be infinitely close to the Great Dao. Buzz. Tai Baokai immediately woke up. In his body, gates of 10,000 demons opened one after another, rippling with the aura of a demon sage. Su Yan was surprised. Tai Baocai's holy gates were different. Every gate of 10,000 demons had a vague yet majestic figure standing there. Some of them were huge in size, some of them were majestic, and some of them had world-shaking auras. How can this be? Su Yan was shocked. Tai Baokai opened the 4 gates of 10,000 demons. Their auras were all different. It was like the Dao court opened by the 4 demon gods. This made Su Yan suspicious. Su Yan was slowly attracted by the aura of the Great Dao Pearl. His mind was clear and he could feel the power that surpassed the rules. This was the Great Dao. Once one could comprehend the Great Dao, one would be a strong expert in the universe. In the Big Dipper star region, one could be considered a big shot. However, this was very difficult. Even legendary geniuses found it difficult to comprehend the Great Dao. Even Shuiguan had been stuck in this realm for more than 10 years. Su Yan's body was flowing with golden radiance. Because of the primitive treasured liquid, his control of the rules had improved by leaps and bounds. Now that he was in contact with the power of the Great Dao, Su Yan's aura became more and more divine. The 6 Daesong gates in his body opened one after another. Time passed day by day. The search for Su Yan caused a huge commotion. However, more than 10 days had passed, and there was no trace of him. Even the big shots of the Shui family returned empty-handed. The commotion caused by this matter was astonishing. And the most eye-catching thing was that Supreme Shuiguan seemed to be trapped in Brilliant City. This was because every night there would be a powerful overlord appearing nearby. He would be suffused with killing intent, causing the whole of Brilliant City to surge with wind and clouds, lightning and thunder. This matter caused a huge commotion. Someone didn't want to let Shuiguan leave Brilliant City and trapped him there. Perhaps he really could be trapped there for several years. This is suppressing Shuiguan's growth. Once he comprehends the Great Dao, who among the younger generation can stand against him? Yes, I even suspect that the experts of the Big Dipper lineage have been awakened in secret. After all, the Big Dipper lineage has produced people like Ingjie and Mizar Juzi. However, Shuiguan's improvement is too fast. He even obtained the inheritance of a powerful expert. If he comprehends the Great Dao, he will be invincible in the Big Dipper star region. Brilliant City wasn't calm either. Someone had noticed some clues. The Shui family was in a passive position. Su Yan's matter had caused the Shui family to lose a lot of face. They had also suffered great losses. Now, Shuiguan was also trapped in Brilliant City. They were worried that once Shuiguan left, it would really cause a huge war. Half a month had passed. Tai Baokai had broken through. It had absorbed the blood of a true dragon and opened the door of myriad demons. Its grasp of the laws had reached a new level. Its entire body was suffused with astonishing fluctuations. Buzz. Su Yan's body was covered in a rain of great Tao light. He looked solemn and dignified. It was as if he was undergoing nirvana. His grasp of the laws was becoming more and more shocking. The seventh sacred sect was getting restless. The more laws one comprehended, the stronger the sacred sect. Their battle prowess would also be astonishing. Su Yan was like a banished immortal. He had transcended mortality. His aura was faintly becoming one with the great Tao Pearl. Buzz. Su Yan's body suddenly swayed. A terrifying force descended from the hazy mist, wanting to destroy everything about him. Gotcha! Su Yan's body cracked. It was like a shattered porcelain that could shatter easily. Pfff. He coughed out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with horror. He had almost died just now. I almost turned into Tao. Su Yan shuddered. He hurriedly took out the Heaven's Essence stone to heal the injuries on his body. Fortunately, his body was strong enough to not be injured by the power of the Great Tao. I'm still very far from comprehending the Great Tao. If I attempt to comprehend the Great Tao, I will be blasted into ashes. How powerful is the Great Tao? Once you comprehend the Great Tao, you will be a powerful cultivator in the universe. Everything under the Great Tao is like an ant. The Great Tao is the master of laws. Regardless of whether it's Tao sects, mystical arts, secret sects, or Dharma forms, they are all constructed by laws. However, even the most powerful Dharma form cultivators can't withstand the attack of the Great Tao. No wonder Shuiguan didn't dare to leave Brilliant City easily. Once the power of the Great Tao hits him, he will either die or be injured. Su Yan thought to himself. Now that he had a concrete understanding of the powerful cultivators in the universe, it was best not to provoke such existences if he could. Tai Baokai was scared. It didn't dare to observe the Great Tao Pearl anymore. Even with Su Yan's body, it had almost shattered silently, let alone its body. At that time, it would definitely be destroyed in both body and soul. Su Yan's cultivation was too low. Although his realm was sufficient, in the process of comprehending the Great Tao, he would die if he wasn't careful. Chapter 196. Su Yan spent a few days recuperating from his injuries. They cultivated here for a period of time before setting off, preparing to head to the southern region. Alcade City belonged to the central region, and the southern mountain range was very far from here. It was a gathering place for demon cultivators, and there were fewer human cultivators there. Their purpose in going to the southern mountain range was to find the Yuan. When they arrived at Alcade Planet, Tai Baokai and Yuan had both fallen into the southern mountain range. However, the Yuan situation was a bit special. Su Yan was worried and wanted to take a look. Moreover, there was still some time before the Star Tomb opened. They went to a bustling ancient city nearby. Su Yan didn't expect that he would become a celebrity now. Shuiguan had taken out a king medicine and placed a bounty on him. The bronze cauldron can't leave my side. Otherwise, they'll calculate my location, Su Yan thought to himself. Tai Baocai's body was smeared with the blood of a demon god. It looked like a fat tabby cat as it wandered around the streets, asking for information. This bustling ancient city had a large void formation that allowed them to cross to the southern mountain range. Brat, they're all here to capture you. You're now a moving treasure trove with King Medicine and Tao Pearl. Some old bastards will try to capture you. Tai Baokai transmitted. When they arrived at the void formation, they discovered that there were a few experts hibernating nearby, secretly monitoring the passing cultivators. Even the Tai Baokai was wanted. After all, it was the one who had stolen the Tao Pearl. Su Yan and Tai Baokai left the place. The Tai Baokai was very fierce. It shook its body, and its fur immediately fell off. It looked like a big white bear with a very strange appearance. It attracted a lot of attention as it walked on the street. Su Yan hid in the phoenix hairpin's space. Tai Baokai swaggered over with an imposing manner. It talked with the manager of the void formation and haggled. It even took out the identity token given to it by the Golden Dragon King. Those who could take out the Golden Dragon King's identity token had to have a powerful background. The experts watching in secret also stopped paying attention to Tai Baokai. Tai Baokai had taken out 30,000 origin essence stones and was waiting here. Controlling an ancient city is still the fastest way to earn money. Su Yan muttered in his heart as he waited for the void array to open. Unexpectedly, they waited for several days. Most of them were Yao cultivators. Very few human cultivators crossed back to the southern mountain range. There were also the primordial spirits of great characters constantly sweeping this place. These Yao cultivators all sneered. The Shui family had lost a lot of face, and so did Alcade Palace Hall. They were currently searching the entire world for a little cultivator called Su Yan. I don't know how this Su Yan escaped. It's said that many great characters were secretly investigating his whereabouts. Even the Grand Elder of Big Dipper Palace Hall made a divination, but he couldn't divine anything at all. Su Yan. It's true that he's a little cultivator, but he's still a strange person. Back in the Battle of Marsh City, Su Yan controlled a small dragon vein and suppressed two great prodigies. It's a pity that I wasn't in Marsh City at that time. Otherwise, I could have seen Su Yan's glory. Regardless of whether it was the Shui family or Alcade Palace Hall, they were not on the same side as the Yao race. They were all enjoying the show and began to discuss. Have you heard? Some time ago, a human cultivator came to the southern mountain range. He's almost at the peak. I've heard of him a long time ago. After all, it's the most famous divine mountain in the southern mountain range. Even Supreme Shuiguan and Fairy Big Dipper have been there. Moreover, the #1 prodigy of the Yao race in our Big Dipper star region is now at the Divine Mountain of Inheritance. Yeah, I wonder if he can open the Savage Palace. It's rumored that there's an inheritance in the Savage Palace. Someone has opened it before. Su Yan perked up his ears to listen. The Divine Mountain of Inheritance in the Big Dipper star region was called the Savage Mountain. This mountain was very famous. It was a special land of inheritance in the Big Dipper star region. It was said that it had existed for a very long time. Prodigies would often go there to try their luck, hoping to obtain some inheritance from the Savage Mountain. Yuan was now in this land of inheritance. The human cultivator they were discussing just now should be Yuan. Buzz. At night, a large void formation suddenly opened. It caused a huge commotion. This was the power of the void erupting. It was even more shocking than when a big shot made a move. After all, the price to cross to the southern mountain range was very high. I've finally left. Su Yan heaved a sigh of relief. It was too dangerous to stay in the central mountain range. Leaving for a period of time would allow him to avoid the limelight. The void formation began to cross. After all, it had cost so much. The construction of this void formation was very exquisite. It was like a huge void hall. There was a lot of discussion inside. Most of them were demon cultivators chatting with each other. Kid, did you notice that there's something wrong with this person? Tai Baokai was as honest as a big white bear. He had a simple and honest look on his face as he patrolled a man with messy hair. Who's there? Su Yan's spiritual will spread out. He followed Tai Baocai's eyes and saw this man. Why does he look so familiar? Su Yan was stunned. The young man was tall and his messy hair covered his face. Only a pair of deep, starry eyes could be seen. They were sharp and frightening. Looking at the man with dark yellow skin, Su Yan patrolled for a while. He was shocked. It's him. Su Yan's heart was in turmoil. This was the young slave he had met in Alcade City. At that time, his appearance had alarmed many big shots. As for the young slave, he seemed to have lost his mind and ran away without a trace. Su Yan's expression was strange. He did not expect to meet this mysterious expert in the void formation. You know him? Tai Baokai asked with a voice transmission. This person just came in out of nowhere. Even the experts outside who were searching for you did not notice. Fortunately, this beast god has a good eye. Su Yen looked around and suddenly walked out of the Phoenix Hairpin. The cultivators here were all discussing and did not notice that there was an extra person. Kid, what are you doing out here? Tai Baotsai's face darkened. If we are discovered, the southern mountain range will not be peaceful. We will have to hide again. It should be fine. There are no experts in the void formation. My 9 transformations should not be seen through so easily. Su Yen looked at the young slave and found that he looked a little different. He seemed to have aged 5 or 6 years, and was almost a middle-aged man. Big brother! Su Yen walked over and chuckled, trying to build a relationship. The tall man's deep eyes flashed with a confused look. His pitch-black pupils looked at Su Yen and a mysterious glow flashed in his eyes. He saw through my 9 transformations at a glance. Su Yan's heart skipped a beat. He took a deep breath and said calmly, Big brother, where are you going? Are you going to the southern mountain range too? The tall young man looked confused. He seemed to be trapped in a fog and could not find his way. He was like a walking corpse. No matter how Su Yen asked, the tall young man did not respond. He just stood there. He was tall and his clothes were messy. There was not much fluctuation, but there was a kind of essence, energy, and spirit that pierced the sky. Su Yan's head hurt. This person seemed to have lost his memory. It was no wonder that the big shots of Alcade Hall wanted to snatch his Dao fruit. His condition was not right. He had forgotten many things and could not even communicate normally. Hee, big brother, why don't you come with us to explore the cultivation world? What do you think? Tai Baokai walked over shamelessly. He wanted to rope in this expert. He might be able to become their protective talisman. The tall young man suddenly shifted his gaze to Tai Baokai. Tai Baokai was shocked. Under the gaze of the tall young man, Tai Baokai was about to be seen through. Big brother, what are you doing? Stop it. Su Yan's expression changed. He found that the tall young man had stretched out a finger and pointed at Tai Baokai. The confusion in his eyes dissipated. His deep pupils released a light of amazement. Immediately, Su Yen found that the aura in the tall young man's body was awakening. What made Su Yen pale was that the aura in Tai Baotsai's body was also faintly being drawn out. Kid, save me! He seems to want to harm me. The Tai Baokai was anxious. It used all of its strength to kick its legs as it sensed danger. This tall youth was too terrifying. He had sealed it without a sound. However, it was unable to struggle free. Everything had been sealed. All of its methods were useless in front of him. At this moment, the tall young man spoke. His eyes flashed with a resplendent light. His finger pointed at Tai Baotsai's forehead. Su Yen wanted to stop him, but it was useless. The power of this young slave was too terrifying. He had forcefully suppressed Su Yen, and he had no power to resist. Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness was about to collapse. The tall young man's pupils burned. It was a terrifying manifestation. His eyes pierced through Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness. It was as if he had barged into a vast reincarnation vortex. It was mysterious and shocking. This is... Su Yen followed the tall young man's piercing power and entered Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness. He saw one inconceivable scene after another. Layers of terrifying wills roared out. It was terrifying to the extreme. In Tai Baotsai's sea of consciousness, there stood one majestic figure after another. They were like invincible existences. The aura that erupted from them caused the entire 9 heavens and 10 earths to tremble. Su Yan's spiritual will was about to explode. This aura was too shocking. It was difficult to endure. Su Yen seemed to have barged into a vast reincarnation wheel. He crossed through the past one life after another. The entire process was indescribable. Su Yen seemed to have experienced one great era after another. Su Yen found it difficult to see the specific scenes. He could only see blurry scenes of mountains of corpses and seas of blood. He wanted to see more clearly, but every scene quickly dissipated. The tall young man had a solemn expression. He chased after them again and again. It was as if he did not know fatigue. After an unknown period of time, he finally saw a flourishing great era. However, it was torn apart by a sea of blood and cut apart by immortal light. The world was dyed in blood. All of this was too resplendent. Su Yen found it difficult to see clearly. He did not know if these were real or fake. They were like projections left behind from ancient history. However, they emitted the aura of a sea of blood. It was as if they wanted to split the sky. The tall young man hugged his head. His face was distorted. He seemed to have seen something that caused him to be sad. Immortal firmament. The tall young man let out a beast-like roar. His eyes were vertical and filled with killing intent. It was like a heavenly blade that tore through the void. It was snow-white and overflowing. The void array trembled. It could not withstand the killing intent he emitted. Kacha! Chapter 197. What a shocking energy fluctuation. This is the aura of the void. Could it be that the void formation is disintegrating? I don't know who's so unlucky. It's not a good thing to encounter an accident while crossing the void. Looking at the fluctuation, it seems that something happened to the void formation. This was a vast mountain forest. Ancient trees covered the sky, and the vegetation was thriving. The mountains and rivers were magnificent and filled with a wild atmosphere. In the mountain forest, in the ravines, and on the peaks, all kinds of strange beasts could be seen. There were also many strange beasts with powerful auras. Human cultivators were relatively rare. There were too many cultivators gathered here. It was difficult to count them all. It was a sacred land in the southern region, and most of the younger generation came here. But now, the void was torn into pieces, and a vast void aura was transmitted out, startling many creatures. They all looked into the distance and saw a void formation collapsing. Then, groups of cultivators fell from the sky and crashed into the ground, creating large pits. For a moment, smoke and dust filled the sky. Lucky, too lucky! The surrounding cultivators smacked their lips. Once the void formation collapsed, it would create a large void crack. Weaker cultivators would find it difficult to resist. But the void formation had been completely destroyed. They did not encounter any life-threatening danger. At most, they fell until their heads bled. Damn it, I spent so many origin essence stones, and an accident happened to the void formation. I'll settle the score with them later. That's right. Damn Alcade Palace. They took 5,000 origin essence stones from me and almost killed us. How hateful. These cultivators who were dizzy from the fall cursed. They were also very glad that the void formation had been completely destroyed. Otherwise, they would have all died here. Damn it, it hurts. Tai Baokai crawled out of the pit and shook its round head. Its body was covered in cold sweat. The experience just now was unforgettable. It was as if it had crawled out from the gates of hell. Baokai, did you see anything just now? Su Yen found it difficult to calm down. He stared at Tai Baokai and asked. He was even clear that if the young slave had not broken the void formation with his roar, they would have been in a life-and-death situation. Many creatures would have died. Kid, don't you know that person? This beast deity was almost killed. I'm not done with you. Tai Baokai growled with a dark face, flustered and exasperated. How could I know such an expert? Su Yen asked again and again. He really wanted to know more about the Tai Baocai's origins. He felt that its origins were astonishing and that it was definitely not an ordinary creature. Tai Baokai shook its big head and said with conviction that the young slave coveted its aptitude and wanted to seize its primordial spirit. This made Su Yen feel helpless. It seemed that he couldn't get anything out of Tai Baokai. He didn't know if Tai Baokai knew his specific origin. My strength. Su Yen was alarmed. Only then did he realize that his strength had been suppressed to the primordial realm. He realized that his life spring and primordial spirit had been sealed. He was shocked. How could this be? One must know. The primordial realm was connected to various cultivation mystic realms. The primordial realm could be infinitely strengthened. In other words, Su Yen could only use the strength of his physical body here. Tai Baokai also realized the problem and said, I didn't expect to come directly to the Savage Mountain. It saves us the trouble of traveling. Yuan is cultivating in the Savage Mountain. Let's go and take a look. This is the Savage Mountain. Su Yen was stunned. He looked around and realized that there were many creatures gathered here. Not far from them, there was a huge mountain that pierced the sky. It was filled with a savage aura. This was the famous Savage Mountain in the Big Dipper constellation. It was known as the Land of Inheritance. Su Yen also wanted to see how powerful the Savage Mountain was. Any cultivator who came here would be suppressed by the Savage Mountain. In this place, they could only use the strength of their physical body. Their life spring and primordial spirit were sealed. It was obvious that the inheritance was only targeted at the physical body. Therefore, it was a pure land for the Fae. After all, Fae cultivators were born with strong physical bodies. Brother Baokai. It was also at this moment that a being in a golden robe with a powerful aura walked over. The little dragon king was majestic. His body flowed with golden light and exuded a vigorous vitality. There were 2 horns on his forehead that emitted waves that could split the sky. The little dragon king is out. The surrounding Fae cultivators were discussing. The little dragon king was a Fae genius in the Big Dipper constellation. There were only a few young Fae geniuses who could be compared to him. Moreover, the little dragon king's ancestral land was on the Alcade planet. Therefore, the little dragon king could be said to be the overlord of the younger generation on the Alcade planet. He was very prestigious. Behind the little dragon king was a group of beautiful goblins. Some of the goblins were even wearing sexy clothes from the treasure store. Little Dragon King. Tai Baokai looked like a big white bear. Although its fur had fallen off, the little Dragon King still recognized it. Haha, it's really you. The little Dragon King strode forward with a smile. More than a month ago, the incident in Marsh City had shaken the entire Alcade planet. Furthermore, Xuelong had also been brutally beaten up. Tai Baokai had taken out all kinds of treasures and even the great Dao Pearl. Tai Baokai, so it's you. Behind the little Dragon King stood a woman in a dark green dress. Her skin was smooth, and she had a furry tail that rippled with light as it swayed. She was looking at the Tai Baokai with a strange gaze. Little fox, how can you speak like that? Tai Baokai was very unhappy. How can you call me by my name when you see me? Bai Yun's face darkened, but she didn't say anything. She couldn't believe what happened in Marsh City a month ago. They had caused such a big storm, but they still dared to appear in the southern region. Although this place was a little far from the Alcade Hall and belonged to the Fey race's territory, once the Xue family and the Alcade Hall found out that they were in the southern region, the Medicine King's influence alone was enough to attract the experts of the older generation. Let's leave this place quickly. It's not safe. Su Yen transmitted his voice. He didn't expect to meet the little Dragon King on the way. There were too many people here, and it wouldn't be good for them if news of this spread out. Beast God? Who is so arrogant that even a starry sky king beast doesn't dare to call itself a beast god? At this moment 2 creatures with tyrannical auras walked over. Their eyes were cold as they stared at the Tai Baokai with unfriendly gazes. When they sensed its aura, they sneered. Little sister Bai Yun, who is this big cat? Do you need me to teach it a lesson? Bai Yun looked like she was watching a show and didn't say anything. She was the woman beside the little Dragon King, a genius of the fox race. You 2 idiots, which eye of yours saw that this beast god was a cat? Tai Baokai stared at them with murderous intent. It had always claimed that it was extremely talented and extraordinary, but now it was called a big cat? This made Tai Baokai so angry that its face turned green. You still dare to call yourself a beast god? The expression of the two creatures was somewhat cold. One of them was a strange creature with gray skin. Its body was emitting a terrifying aura like a mountain. It stared straight at Tai Baokai and sneered. I think you must have eaten some immortal's guts. You think you are worthy of being called a beast god? I think you don't even have the qualifications to be my battle servant. You too, aren't you going overboard? The little dragon king frowned. The other person spoke. He was also in human form, but a huge shadow faintly appeared behind his back. It looked like a purple ferocious bird. His eyes were filled with a sky-tearing aura. He said coldly, Little Dragon King, it's not that we are going overboard. It calls itself a beast god, how can you tolerate it? The Little Dragon King smiled bitterly. After all, even his father, the Golden Dragon King, had entertained Tai Baokai before. The Little Dragon King really didn't dare to say anything about Tai Baokai. These two were the geniuses of the southern region. They sized up Tai Baokai with disdain. How noble was a beast god? Only a mythical beast was qualified to be called a beast god, but it could only be said that it had the potential to become a beast god. But Tai Baokai was a mythical beast? They had never seen such a mythical beast. You two have eyes but can't see. You don't even have the qualifications to carry my shoes. Tai Baokai cast a sidelong glance at them and said arrogantly, I'm in a bad mood. I don't even have the mood to accept two battle pets. What did you say? The two geniuses of the southern region were furious. Accept them as battle pets? I'm not in the mood. There was a commotion around. Many people came over to watch. They recognized the two geniuses and were all stunned. This big white bear was too arrogant. It was openly humiliating the two geniuses of the southern region. The Little Dragon King's face turned green. Tai Baokai's cultivation level was not high, but it had offended the two geniuses. Are you deaf? Tai Baokai raised its big round head and said disdainfully, My words are precious. I never repeat what I have said. How dare you? The two geniuses were enraged. Their physical bodies were very strong and they were emitting waves of astonishing strength. They squeezed the air and shouted, Little Dragon King, don't blame us for not giving you face. You see, this big cat is too arrogant. Let me teach it a lesson and let it see the reality. The gray humanoid creature strode over. Its entire body was filled with a majestic aura like a mountain. Its physical body was extremely shocking. Vigorous waves of essence and blood were gushing out from its body. Seeing Tai Baokai stepping back, the crowd roared with laughter. Ha ha, are you scared? The gray creature said coldly, It's too late. You can't take back what you just said. Who said I'm going to take back what I said? Tai Baokai bared its teeth and said, Kid, go and suppress it. Little Dragon King's eyes were filled with astonishment. He noticed the silent young man beside Tai Baokai. His heart was beating like a drum. This person couldn't be Su Yan, right? Ha ha ha, funny. If you are looking for a helper, you should find a strong one. You found a weak young man. Are you mocking me? The gray creature laughed and looked at Su Yan. It said with an unquestionable tone, Young man of the human race, the chance to abandon the dark and seek the light has come. If you follow me, I will make you my battle servant. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Su Yan frowned. He looked at the gray creature and said, We are not here to cause trouble. Goodbye. Stop right there. Did I say you can leave? The gray creature's eyes were filled with coldness as it shouted, I will not take back my words. I said that I will take you as my battle servant, so I will. If you insist on leaving, I don't mind suppressing you. At that time, it will be hard to say whether you will live or die. Young man of the human race, you have a great future ahead of you. You must seize it. The creature with the image of a vicious bird behind its back also coldly said, "Young man, go and take in 2 battle servants. We are still missing 2 mounts." Tai Baokai didn't mind blowing things up. Impudent! The energy inside the gray creature's body burst out. Its body was like a giant mountain. This was a creature from the stone tribe. Its innate fighting strength was astonishing, especially its body that was comparable to a divine weapon. This aura was like a stormy sea. It contained a murderous aura and rushed towards Su Yan. "I don't have a habit of taking in battle servants." Su Yan's hair fluttered as his eyes flashed with a cold glint. He suddenly turned around. His originally calm body surged with vigorous blood essence. It could be said that a huge golden furnace was burning in this place. Boom. Chapter 198. Blazing essence. Blood surged and pierced through the sky, faintly turning into a giant dragon-shaped pillar. Instantly, a blazing aura surged, shocking the surrounding people. Under Su Yan's awakened essence blood, they felt as if they were facing a huge volcano. The essence blood contained within was too domineering. His fist became even more resplendent as it blasted through the sky, containing a peerlessly powerful physical strength as it blasted towards the gray creature. The gray creature's expression changed greatly, and it felt suffocated. It was hard to imagine that this came from a young man's body. The moment it blasted towards it, its sturdy body showed signs of shattering. Not good! The gray creature immediately took out a divine weapon and slashed it towards Su Yan's fist. "He's cheating," a human cultivator reminded. "No matter," Tai Baokai said heroically. "Watch how my subordinate beats up this stone man." "Shut up." The gray creature was enraged by Tai Baokai's words. They were stone creatures, and now Tai Baokai was calling them stone men. This made the gray creature's hair stand on end, and it took out its divine weapon to wildly hack at Su Yan. Heavens! The surrounding people sucked in a breath of cold air as they saw Su Yan's tyrannical punch. This punch was too domineering and shocking. He didn't even try to dodge, and it immediately blasted onto the divine weapon. Crack! This was a small silver cauldron, but under Su Yan's fist, it cracked and collapsed. Heavens, he can actually destroy a divine weapon. Could this person's cultivation be about to enter the transcendence realm? The crowd was in an uproar. After all, this was a divine weapon, but Su Yan actually destroyed it with a single punch. Could his body be even sturdier than a divine weapon? The Golden Dragon King was shocked. Although he could do it, if this person was Su Yan, then it would be incredible. Su Yan wasn't even in the transcendent realm. However, his physical body was actually tougher than ordinary divine weapons. The potential of his physical body was too shocking. If he improved further, wouldn't he be able to fight with the physical body of a transcendence realm cultivator? The younger generation of the Savage Mountain was the majority. If Su Yan really had such combat strength, he would be able to do whatever he wanted in the Savage Mountain. Bang! The gray creature's entire body trembled as it flew outwards. Even though it was a rock-type creature, it was still divided into 3, 6, and 9 grades. Rumor has it that it was a heaven-defying creature that was born from a gem between heaven and earth, possessing unmatched fighting strength as soon as it was born. However, this type of creature was just too rare. The surrounding people felt their hair stand on end. Humans were born with weak bodies, but this human youth's body was stronger than ordinary divine weapons. "And you, do you want to take me as your battle servant?" Su Yan pointed at the creature with the projection of the vicious bird behind him. The creature was startled and its face flushed red. Originally, it thought that Su Yan was very weak and could be easily suppressed. Who knew that his physical body was so abnormal? In the Savage Mountain, Ingjia's powerful physical body was absolutely intimidating. Demon cultivators all revered martial strength. Su Yan's tyrannical strength attracted their approval. Some female demons stared at him with fiery eyes. With such strength, His physical body must be very sturdy. Rumble. Suddenly, the towering savage mountains spread out. It was as if a corner of the starry sky was falling down, emitting an oppressive aura. It was as if a giant starry mountain was pressing down on everything within 1,000 miles from the savage mountain. A silvery figure with overflowing divine light walked down from the mountain. As it moved, it emitted a vast amount of starry sky blood essence. Su Yan's pupils suddenly shrank. This creature's aura was very shocking. Its blood essence was as deep as the sea, about to pierce through the sky. This was a transcendence realm cultivator, a king in the field of physical body. If I complete the starry sky divine furnace and combine the 3 furnaces into one, I should have a body like this. Su Yan thought to himself. However, it was very difficult to make the leap. It's a giant starry sky beast, it should be that king beast. Everyone was discussing spiritedly. Some cultivators looked at the creature walking down from the savage mountain with reverence. It had a slender body with a head full of silver hair. Its skin was snow-white and sparkling. It had a handsome appearance, and its eyes were as bright as the starry sky. Especially the horns on its forehead. They were light gold and intertwined with mysterious starry sky patterns. They were about to turn into Tao marks. The giant starry sky beast was originally a race favored by the heavens. Any adult giant starry sky beast was comparable to an existence like the Alcade Hall Master. This race fed on the stars. However, this race had very few descendants, but every one of them had the power to dominate the same realm. As for this giant starry sky beast, it was the legendary king beast of starry sky, a divine beast that only appeared once every 10,000 years. Brother Kong, I trust you have been well since we last met. Little Dragon King didn't dare to be arrogant. He and Brother Kong had never fought before, but he knew how terrifying the giant starry sky beast was. Especially when its bloodline returned to its ancestral state. It was unknown whether the silver creature was male or female, but its appearance was extremely handsome. Regardless of whether it was male or female, it could charm a large group of people. It could be said that both men and women were attracted to it. There were many creatures that admired it. Outsiders didn't know its name either. Little Dragon King called it Brother Kong, and its race's surname was Kong. It was rumored that the giant starry sky beast's bloodline was extremely terrifying in the distant past. It was said that it originated from the demon domain, but for some reason, its origin became the Big Dipper starfield. Little Dragon King, did my subordinates offend you? The giant starry sky beast appeared here. Its entire body was emitting a heaven-shocking power. Its silver hair danced in the wind and its silver pupils emitted a divine radiance that was as bright as the starry sky. The gray creature and the other 2 were ashamed. After all, they lost face here, and the giant starry sky beast also lost face. Little Dragon King explained the cause and effect of the matter. The giant starry sky beast's eyes were faintly cold as it looked at the Tai Baokai. It dared to call itself a beast god. A giant starry sky beast that had returned to its ancestral state was enough to be called a beast god, but it still hadn't returned to its ancestral state. So it was you. When the giant starry sky beast saw Su Yan, its silver pupils were extremely shocking. It actually saw through Su Yan's 9 transformations divine ability. After all, Su Yan had just started cultivating the 9 transformations divine ability, and the giant starry sky beast also possessed a rare eye technique. Little Dragon King's expression changed. He said from the side, Brother Kong, they are my father's honored guests. Don't use the Golden Dragon King to intimidate me. The giant starry sky beast's aura suddenly became blazing. Silver divine radiance surged and burned. It could be called a silver divine furnace that covered all directions. This made the surrounding people pale. Could it be that the giant starry sky beast was about to make a move? Even the Big Dipper Starfield Palace didn't want to provoke this bloodline. This race had a long lifespan, and there was an old ancestor that was hibernating within the race. Brother Kong, what are you doing? You are making things difficult for my friend in my territory. Little Dragon King's might was awe-inspiring, but he wasn't afraid of it. Humph! The giant starry sky beast snorted coldly. Its eyes kept staring, and it couldn't tell whether it was a man or a woman. It said, I have an elder who has exhausted his lifespan and wants a king medicine. What do you think I should do? I don't have a king medicine, Su Yen replied. I have a spirit medicine. Do you want it? You don't have it, but I can use you to trade. The giant starry sky beast's might was shocking. Its words made Little Dragon King fly into a rage. You are in the transcendence realm, but you are bullying my friend. Isn't that a bit too much? Bullying? The giant starry sky beast said disdainfully. Is there a need to bully? Even if I suppress my cultivation to the Tao Gate realm, can it defeat me? This bloodline was born with strong physical bodies and extremely overbearing combat power. They didn't fear any challengers. It was rumored that a giant starry sky beast that atavism was comparable to a sovereign body. I don't mind fighting. If you lose, you have to hand over 50 kilograms of void stone. Tai Baokai was furious. This was too arrogant. You really dare to open your mouth? The giant starry sky beast's eyes flashed coldly. It said calmly, take out the astral body first. A supreme-grade astral body was very important to the giant starry sky beast. It had an astral body treasure, but it hadn't reached the supreme-grade level. You really think I'm a pushover? Su Yen said angrily. You want my treasure as soon as you come and want to trade me for a king medicine. Are you sure you want to suppress your cultivation to fight with me? Su Yen, don't fight with it. Little Dragon King knew how terrifying a giant starry sky beast that was about to atavism was. He quickly said, if you want to fight, I'll fight with you. Little Dragon King, this is none of your business. The giant starry sky beast said arrogantly, you and I are both geniuses of the demon race. Why do you have to offend my race to protect the human race? If you don't interfere, I don't need the Pearl of the Great Path. How about I give it to you? Su Yen and Tai Baokai looked at each other. Something was really wrong. They could only leave this place. After all, the Star Pagoda and the Pearl of the Great Path were both activated. There was still a way out. Little Dragon King said angrily, Giant starry sky beast, what kind of person do you think I am? If you have the ability, go and find Shueguan. He is now the Northern Dipper Supreme. Even Su Yen dares to fight with Shueguan. Do you dare? The battle at Marsh City was just a small trick. It's nothing. The giant starry sky beast said coldly, I will fight with Shueguan sooner or later. Kid, you are too arrogant. You are not even grown up yet, and you dare to be so arrogant. Tai Baokai stared and said, do you think you are worthy to fight with Supreme Shueguan? Your atavism has just begun. I see that a part of your starry sky horn ancestral pattern has just been born, and it is badly damaged. It is impossible for you to atavism. Tai Baokai made the giant starry sky beast hate Shueguan with just a few words. However, its words made the giant starry sky beast bewildered. It shouted, what do you know? You're spouting nonsense. Be careful, or I'll suppress you. If you don't believe me, go home and ask your elders. How can you atavism without the myriad demon pool? Tai Baokai bared its teeth. Who are you? How do you know about the myriad demon pool? The giant starry sky beast was stunned. The myriad demon pool was the most powerful treasure land in the demon domain. How could an outsider use it? If you want to know, take this beast god as your master. Tai Baocai's words almost made Little Dragon King fall. The giant starry sky beast's face turned green. It raised its claws and was about to strike. However, a wave of energy flowed out from the giant starry sky beast's forehead. A horrifying being had arrived. It was only a primordial spirit, but the energy it emitted was enough to make the sky darken. However, in the barbaric mountain, its primordial spirit could not exert its strength. As expected, The giant starry sky beast family values the giant starry sky beast very much. There is a giant starry sky beast overseeing the giant starry sky beast's consciousness. The giant starry sky beast's voice had been cut off by Little Dragon King. The people outside did not know what they were talking about, but the arrival of a giant starry sky beast's primordial spirit made the beasts tremble with fear. "Young friend, come and have a chat." The giant starry sky beast took the Tai Baokai to the sky and talked to it in secret. The giant starry sky beast was shocked. She stared at Su Yen with her silver eyes. A horrifying energy was spreading out from her body. Su Yen saw this and said coldly, "If you want to fight, I will fight with you." Su Yen. Little Dragon King was shocked. He stared at the giant starry sky beast and said, "Don't make a mistake. Your master is talking to Brother Baokai. Be careful not to make a mistake. It's nothing to fight at the same level." The giant starry sky beast looked proud. It said, "Take out the astral body. I will not suppress you for Little Dragon King's sake. But I must get the astral body. If you lose, give me 500 kilograms of heavenly essence stones." Su Yen snorted, "Of course this is not enough. The value of a top-grade astral body is shocking. Add another 50 kilograms of void stones. Where does your courage come from? I can suppress you with one move." The giant starry sky beast's silver eyes flashed with anger. The horn on its forehead was dazzling. Silver lightning shot out one after another, piercing through the sky and rushing towards Su Yen. Chapter 199. These lightning bolts didn't look strong at first, but the moment they drilled out from its horns, they enlarged one after another. They were like giant silver swords, and the airflow they emitted was about to split the sky. The starry sky beast king's body was extremely powerful. As for its horns, they were born naturally. As it grew older, its power became more and more amazing. The silver lightning filled the sky, dancing between heaven and earth. It contained an extremely powerful destructive force and dived towards Su Yen. Boom! Under the shocking gaze of the surrounding people, Su Yan's palm formed a fist seal. The essence blood in his body broke out, and for a moment, he was extremely powerful. He raised his fist and punched the sky. He was unstoppable, like a god of war rushing to the sky. When the essence blood in his body boiled, the world was roaring. This fist was earth-shattering. It bombarded the sky full of silver lightning, and it began to tremble and shatter. The surrounding cultivators' faces changed dramatically. Although the starry sky beast king didn't use its full strength, its attack was still very powerful. The result shocked them. It was blown apart by this human youth's fist. This was too shocking. Could it be that this human youth was a heavenly genius? Su Yan's breath calmed down. His long black hair draped over his shoulders, and his clothes fluttered in the wind. He looked at the starry sky beast king, and the battle blood in his body boiled. He wanted to have a fair fight with this monster that was about to reach the supreme body. The starry sky beast king was furious. It raised its claws and was about to slash. The young dragon king frowned and said, "Brother Kong, how can you go back on your words? You just lost. You said it. Why are you going back on your words now?" Seeing the young dragon king standing in front of it, the starry sky beast king flew into a rage. Its aura surged out like a tidal wave, its flesh shell released millions of silvery divine rays that illuminated the sky. The blood and chi in its body could be said to be a vast ocean. So strong. Su Yen clenched his fist. He had to cultivate the starry sky divine furnace. Only then could he compete with the geniuses. After all, they were all Transcendence Realm cultivators. Even if they cultivated the starry sky divine furnace, they were still some distance away from the Transcendence Realm. Buzz! A huge hand of primordial spirit fell from the sky. It contained a vast aura of the starry sky. No matter how strong the giant beast of starry sky was, it seemed very weak in the face of this aura. After all, those who could be called big shots were all existences who had comprehended the great Tao. This ancestor of the astral behemoth lineage was one of them. Damn it! The Beast King was enraged. It stared at Su Yen with its silver eyes and shouted, "Kid, just you wait. Next time, I will not let you get away so easily. Take care, I won't see you out." Su Yen waved his hand, causing the Cosmic Beast King to spit out a mouthful of blood. It struggled and was taken away by the ancestor of the Cosmic Beast clan. Tai Baokai also appeared here. Su Yen and the Little Dragon King both walked over. They really wanted to ask what they were talking about just now. Nothing much. I just wanted to ask about the Myriad Demon Pool. Tai Baokai looked like an expert. He stood up straight and proudly said with his hands behind his back, "The astral behemoth lineage belongs to the demon realm. I don't know why this lineage left the demon realm. Their knowledge of their ancestors is limited. I just said that as long as I go to the Myriad Demon Pool, I can achieve atavism. If the astral beast of Starry Sky can really achieve atavism, then Shueguan has met his match," the Little Dragon King said solemnly. "He is getting stronger and stronger now. He has already begun to comprehend the great Tao. In the Big Dipper starfield, I'm afraid that only the sovereign physique can compete with Shueguan. However, the sovereign physique has disappeared for many years." Little Dragon King, don't you know which almighty inheritance Shueguan has obtained? Tai Baotsai's heart felt like it was being scratched by a cat. It would be great if I knew. Little Dragon King shook his head and sighed. The inheritance of an almighty. I don't know what kind of dog's hit luck this guy has to encounter such a fortuitous encounter. However, this guy is really good at hiding. Until now, Supreme Shueguan hasn't shown that he has any secret inheritance related to the inheritance of an almighty. The deeper he hides it, the stronger the almighty inheritance he obtained. Tai Baokai smacked his lips and said, "It would be great if I knew the location of the almighty inheritance." The Little Dragon King was speechless. Could it be that he wanted the almighty inheritance? Su Yen suddenly said, "Shueguan has been to the Ziwei starfield. I guess the almighty inheritance he obtained is in the Ziwei starfield. If it is in the Big Dipper starfield, the Shui family can't hide this secret, right? He has been to the Ziwei starfield." This made the Little Dragon King's expression change. How old was Shueguan? Moreover, with the Shui family's foundation, it was too difficult to cross the starfield. Even if it was possible, they wouldn't let Shueguan go to the Ziwei starfield. It's very possible. It was only a suspicion now. If they really knew the destination, the entire universe would erupt into a bloody storm. Who didn't want the almighty inheritance? With Shueguan's current foundation, it was impossible for him to obtain all the almighty inheritance. Shueguan even had the king medicine, and the number was unknown. It was seriously suspected that he had obtained the almighty inheritance. The Little Dragon King didn't stay here for long. Before he left, he told them that the Star Tomb would open in less than 3 months, and they must rush in as soon as possible. "We must go to the Star Tomb," Tai Baokai said. "After all, it is the strongest ancient star with life. It is suitable for cultivation. If we can obtain some opportunities in the strongest ancient star with life, we might be able to evolve a stronger divine power gate." Hearing this, Su Yen nodded and said, "When the 9 Daesong gates combine, it will evolve into a secret divine power gate. There are also strong and weak divine power gates. It is said that it is related to the birth of the natal secret technique in the future." That's right. One's own secret technique is the strongest, just like the natal artifact. Tai Baokai said, "Only the natal artifact that is refined by oneself can be merged with one's body. The natal secret technique that is born from it might be comparable to the myriad heaven's divine power." Su Yan's heart thumped. "I have only mastered the Big Dipper fist, and it is only one great divine power. The secret divine power gate can create 9 great divine powers. If I can gather all 9 great divine powers and engrave them in the divine power gate, when the time comes, who will be able to stop it? Tai Baokai said with disdain, wishful thinking, too wishful thinking. Not to mention a total of 9, just obtaining one was already a great opportunity. Among the 10 great heavenly sacred arts, other than a few that were lost, the rest were in the hands of the various supreme overlord. Brat, the crepe myrtle sect has a great divine power. Tai Baokai said with red eyes, that is a myriad heaven's divine power. Wait until Ec Yun becomes the saintess. Brat, take the initiative to offer your body and say some nice word. If you can make her happy, she might secretly pass it to you. With my temperament, do I still need to offer my body? Su Yen said proudly. Tai Baokai almost rolled on the ground as he roared, you're too arrogant. You should be struck by lightning. They continued to walk towards the desolate mountain. When they got close to the desolate mountain, Su Yan's eyes were filled with shock. He thought of a giant that stood here for a long time and turned into a mountain. As time passed, it was still strong and majestic. This mountain was not ordinary. It was one with the heaven and earth, one with the starry sky as if it was a part of the heaven and earth. The mountain was filled with an ancient desolate atmosphere and a primitive aura. It was like a mountain that had existed since the beginning of the world. Su Yen could not see through the desolate mountain's terrain. It was too majestic. There were even countless cultivators sitting cross-legged on the mountain. There were geniuses of all races and ordinary creatures. They were all very pious. Over the years, there had been people who had gained something from the desolate mountain. After all, there were no requirements. Over time, it became a divine mountain that was revered by people. I really want to see what is at the peak. Rumor has it that there is a divine temple at the peak. There is a great fortune in the temple. It is said to be an inheritance left behind by a terrifying giant. Someone once opened the doors of the divine temple, but it was too long ago. Even now, no one knows what was left behind at the peak of the desolate mountain. Some cultivators were discussing at the foot of the mountain. The desolate mountain was too famous. Even Supreme Shuiguan had come here. It was said that the inheritance of the desolate mountain was very profound and there were all kinds of things. As long as one could see a corner of it, one would have great achievements in the future. Dong. Su Yen walked towards the desolate mountain. This mountain was very strange. It contained a kind of power that could bind one's body. Su Yan's eyes looked at the mountain he was in. Every region had some veins. They were like sunken footprints, and there was a mysterious aura around them. There were countless footprints like this in the desolate mountain. These were the marks of inheritance left behind by powerful experts in ancient times. Let's see what's here. Su Yen stepped on one of the marks. The mark formed by the veins shone on its own. It emitted waves of mysterious aura that penetrated Su Yan's body. At this moment, Su Yen felt a kind of power. It was very difficult to describe. It was very profound. He carefully savored it and gradually understood that this was a method of operating the natural laws. He constantly moved his position and stepped on more than 10 veins. Gradually, he felt a headache coming. There was no doubt that the desolate mountain had an inheritance. However, there were all kinds of inheritances in every field. Moreover, this was only a small part of it. He felt that if he had the patience to look through all the inheritances in the desolate mountain, it would take him more than 10,000 years. Did you see anything? The Tai Baokai asked. It had come here before but didn't gain anything. Su Yen shook his head and said, let's go up and take a look. Just like that, they walked towards the summit. Every step was very slow. They had to go through a trial and comprehend the inheritance veins before they could pass. Moreover, the higher they went, the stronger the pressure. It was time to test the human body. Su Yen looked up and found that there were many cultivators sitting cross-legged in an area close to the summit. He didn't know how long they had been sitting there, but the aura in their bodies was still. Teacher Iyuan. Su Yen was pleasantly surprised to find Iyuan. He wasn't far from the summit. He had been here for a year. It was as if he had been bewitched. He didn't sleep or rest to comprehend the inheritances in the desolate mountain. Su Yen and the Tai Baokai climbed quickly. With their comprehension of the laws, it wasn't difficult for them to get close to Iyuan. Little brat, look. The guy who wanted to kill this beast deity is here. Hurry up and protect him. The Tai Baokai was shocked. It suddenly saw a tall youth appear here. He wasn't far from them and was also climbing the desolate mountain. Su Yan's expression was solemn. Then, he patrolled the steps of the tall youth. His soles were suffused with waves of extremely profound veins. They were constantly evolving and interweaving, faintly emitting the aura of a great divine ability. The aura of a great divine ability, the aura of the void. The Tai Baokai slipped over and observed excitedly. Su Yen was also shocked. The tall youth was mumbling to himself. No one knew what he was saying. His hair was messy as he looked at the desolate mountain. The veins beneath his feet were glowing. He was also climbing the mountain. Chapter 200. Su Yen and Tai Baokai watched with their eyes wide open. They realized that as the young slave stepped on the imprints seemed to have been disintegrated. The originally complicated imprint was revealed and turned into a diagram of secret patterns of rules. A law pattern diagram that involves the void domain. Su Yan's eyes lit up as he observed these law pattern diagrams. He had cultivated the void step and could easily grasp these law pattern diagrams. Furthermore, when Tai Baokai and Su Yen were comprehending the Great Tao Pearl, their grasp of the laws had improved by leaps and bounds. Therefore, they could easily comprehend the essence of these law pattern diagrams. If we were to comprehend from the imprints, we would need to spend some time. Su Yen thought to himself. These law pattern diagrams weren't of much help to them, but now that the young slave had disappeared and reappeared, he had strangely advanced more than 10 meters. The young slave stopped and stepped on the second imprint. This imprint instantly glowed and transformed into a law pattern diagram again. Hurry up and follow. Tai Baokai and Su Yen were pleasantly surprised. The soles of their feet glowed with divine radiance and evolved the mystical power of the law pattern diagrams. They crossed to the front of the young slave with the power of laws and stared at the second law pattern diagram that he had created. Just like that, they followed the tall man and began to climb the mountain step by step. With every step, the Tao and law evolved from the imprints became more profound. They went from simple to complex and gradually grasped it. When they had learned more than 10 law pattern diagrams, they were already struggling. This is very likely an incredible divine art. It probably involves the space-time domain. We still can't see the general idea. If we follow him, we can find an inheritance in Savage Mountain. There are countless imprints in Savage Mountain. I didn't expect that the inheritance of some imprints could be combined and evolved into a divine art. We are in luck. This expert is delirious. He wants to climb the mountain and involuntarily manifested the law pattern diagrams contained in the imprint. We might be able to follow this path and reach the peak. Su Yen and Tai Baokai discussed excitedly. If it wasn't for this mysterious man, they wouldn't have discovered the secret of Savage Mountain. Perhaps there were other divine arts hidden in Savage Mountain, but they would need to search through the endless imprints. This was like searching for a needle in a haystack. It would take a very long time. It would easily take hundreds of years. They didn't have that much time to waste here. Even the most heaven-defying geniuses wouldn't be able to comprehend it in a short time. Just as they guessed, the tall man with messy hair was delirious looked at the peak of Savage Mountain. His empty eyes were filled with vigor. He was walking, and with every step he took, the bottom of his foot would step on the imprint, revealing the inheritance contained in the imprint into a secret pattern diagram. Su Yen and Tai Baocai's bodies were humming faintly. They were close to the peak, but the suppression that targeted their bodies was extremely powerful. Baocai, did you notice that Savage Mountain should be a treasure that can suppress a person's strength? Su Yen said in astonishment. For a primordial realm cultivator to come up here, how powerful is this treasure? Even powerful figures will be suppressed if they come up here. Perhaps we can dig out its secret when we reach the peak. Su Yen and Tai Baocai followed behind the mysterious man. The manifested imprints in the area they were in were already astonishing. They were all glistening and contained a terrifying aura. It was as though they were left behind by an astonishing existence. The law pattern diagrams manifested one after another. Su Yen had learned about 20 of them. Now it was extremely strenuous for him. His speed of comprehension began to slow down because the spatial domain involved in the secret pattern diagrams was becoming more profound. This expert seems to have noticed that we are cultivating with him. He is waiting for us. Tai Baocai was so excited that he completely forgot about his previous enmity. Su Yen was also pleasantly surprised. He sighed that the 2 steamers of buns had not been given for nothing. Su Yen had a solemn expression as his eyes reflected the scene of the secret pattern diagrams. One after another, the secret pattern diagrams combined together, transforming into footprints. These footprints flowed with wisps of aura, like the power of the void that emanated out. It was a very terrifying manifestation. Su Yen vanished into thin air. When he reappeared, he had already traversed 100 feet. What mystic technique is this? How can it be so terrifying? Su Yen was astounded. He felt like he had teleported. He had arrived here in an instant. If he were to fight an expert, he would be like a tiger that had grown wings. This beast deity reckons that it is very likely to be a great divine ability that involves the spatial domain. Its value is boundless. Could it be the spatial mystic technique of the 72 great divine abilities? Tai Baocai was also tongue-tied. In short, they had encountered a great opportunity. Great divine abilities were too rare and precious. If not for the bamboo moon imparting the Big Dipper fist to him, Su Yen would not even have a single great divine ability. As for the spatial domain mystic technique, it was even rarer. Did you guys notice? Those 3 people are moving very quickly. A few creatures were watching from the foot of Mount Savage. Some people were quickly approaching the peak and attracted everyone's attention. As time passed, these people's expressions changed. The foot of the mountain was in an uproar. This sacred mountain of Mount Savage definitely hid a shocking inheritance. It was too difficult to climb to the peak. It required an extremely strong physical body and exceptional comprehension ability. Su Yen and Tai Baocai were under great pressure, but it was not enough to stump them. Another person has awakened. Why do I see a terrifying red sun rising in the sky? Could it be that a shocking inheritance has appeared? The foot of the mountain was in an uproar. This place was far from the peak, so it was difficult to see the scene clearly. But now they saw a cultivator awakening. His entire body was covered in hazy, auspicious clouds. His physical body seemed to have transformed into a red sun that rose slowly. His entire body rippled with a surging source of blood essence. It was shocking. Mount Savage's inheritance had to be found among the millions of imprints. This was a vast project in itself. Every time someone obtained a precious inheritance, it would cause a commotion in the southern region. Experts would also rush over to take them in as disciples. After all, to be able to find a divine ability among these imprints and combine it, one could imagine one's talent. Why didn't he touch me? Tai Baocai raised his large round head. Su Yen was also shocked. The mysterious expert walked forward and touched Yuan's head. Yuan immediately understood. His body glowed like the rosy clouds of the morning sun. His body was like a rising red sun that contained a majestic aura of vitality. You guys have also come. Yuan was pleasantly surprised after waking up. The three of them stood together and could not help but sigh. It had been more than a year. It was really not easy. Follow him quickly. The three of them followed closely behind the mysterious man. Once again, he stepped on a brand. This brand was somewhat astonishing. The dense pattern diagram it revealed was like a natural diagram of the great Tao that contained an astonishing charm. Yuan seemed to understand, but not fully. It was difficult for him to understand. Tai Baokai and Su Yan's bodies glowed. They were sacred and dignified. This was the core inheritance. The natural diagram of the great Tao seemed to be imprinted in their consciousness. Yuan discovered that Su Yan seemed to have disappeared into thin air, but he was still here. 1. Su Yan's body was resplendent. His entire body was densely covered with dense patterns. A vague diagram appeared behind him. It was like a diagram of the great Tao that was about to merge into one with the void. Suddenly, Su Yan discovered that he seemed to be traveling in the void and had become one with the void. A secret void technique? Yuan was astonished. This secret technique was extremely wondrous. With Su Yan's current cultivation, it was impossible for him to touch the void. However, he had borrowed the power of the diagram of the great Tao to achieve this. This was a power manifested through the combination of layers of laws. Su Yan was pleasantly surprised. This secret technique was too astonishing. Moreover, he felt that this was only the tip of the iceberg. The true inheritance had yet to appear. Look! The expressions of those at the foot of the mountain changed drastically. The first thing they saw was a shadow striding towards the peak. The foot of the mountain was in an uproar. Another person had climbed up. Su Yan's body contained divine energy that had awakened. His entire body was flowing with golden light. He was like a golden deity bearing the immense pressure of Mount Barbaric as he ascended to the peak. Tai Baokai also rushed up. Its powerful body was like a barbaric dragon as it charged towards the peak. Yuan was somewhat strained, but the inheritance he had just comprehended had awakened. His entire body was like a red sun that gradually rose into the sky and swooped down towards the peak. Unbelievable! Will they open the temple? The foot of the mountain was completely silent. 4 cultivators had rushed to the peak in succession and broken a terrifying record. This was something that had never happened before. How did they do it? Countless messages were sent out. Mount Barbaric's peak was a place where even great characters couldn't forcefully enter. However, today, 4 people had rushed to the peak in succession. This would definitely cause a sensation on planet Alcade. It wasn't that no one had gone to the mountain peak before, but the temple at the peak was the most important. Boom! Stepping onto the peak, Su Yan and the other 2 almost fell paralyzed to the ground. They heard the sound of the great Tao again and again. It was like thunder from the 9 heavens that shook their hearts. It contained an incomparable power of the great Tao that wanted to disintegrate their souls. This was the power of the great Tao. It was very terrifying and could easily disperse them. Su Yan only felt that from all directions, there was a vast and mighty power of destruction that filled the heavens and the earth. He was like a small boat that was sailing on the undulating surface of the sea and could be crushed into ashes at any time. They were horrified. This place was too dangerous. The slightest carelessness could lead to death. When Su Yan raised his head, they saw a dazzling divine radiance that was emitted by an ancient temple. The temple wasn't big and was completely golden. It was filled with a primitive atmosphere and scattered golden divine radiance that illuminated the heavens and the earth. For a moment, the peak of Mount Barbaric was sacred and solemn. The sound of the great Tao rumbled as if a vast sea of the great Tao was undulating here. Su Yan and the other 2 were in high spirit. They didn't encounter any danger. Instead, under the illumination of the great Tao, their bodies were translucent. The original flaws in their bodies were all revealed under the illumination of the great Tao. Buzz! Su Yen soared into the sky and sat cross-legged high in the sky. However, under the illumination of the great Tao, his body was tattered and incomplete. It was like an incomplete universe that was filled with the aura of calamity.